Hello. We are back with Citizen Sleeper. We've not played this since October, so I believe when I last played it, the new DLC, part 2 of the I can't remember the name of the ship. Part 2 of that was just about to come out, and we were going to go back to it that weekend. We did not. We did something else instead, because I have so many games. But in the spirit of finishing things off, we are going to play it today. We are going to try and get to an ending. We are also going to see if we also have time to do the second DLC. There's no achievements on the DLC, but, you know, it's extra story. And at my tea break halfway through, I need to stir my casserole because I'm actually organised. And I was 3 minutes late, but I was 3 minutes late because I was putting casserole in to cook while I stream. And it is a miserable day today. It is raining. It is taking away my snow, and I am sad. But it is so grey, and there's no sun. It's 3 o'clock. I mean, it's been pretty much dark all day. It is gruesome out there. It's still cold, but not as cold as I would like it to be, you know? We have so much hot these days. I would like it to also be cold. In equivalency, you know. But the cold is breaking, it is getting warmer, and that makes me very sad. But I did get like a week of it being cold, so you know, I'll take that, and hopefully, you know, we'll get more in the future. I realise that, you know, the extreme heat and the extreme cold are a result of global warming, and you know, do what I can, but it's very hard to know what you can do, really. I'm sure I could be doing more, but, you know, I'm one person and my tiny little contribution barely makes it end. But anyway, Citizen Sleeper is a tabletop game story set in the future. So I assume it's the future. I don't know if it ever said any dates. Where we are let's put on to me. We are a robotic facsimile with a copy of an organic person inside our brain that was originally like built to work for a corporation. We effectively ran away, stowed away on a ship, and made it to a gigantic space station, which we are now exploring. Yeah, that happened. That's the crux of the matter. Obviously, our organic body is somewhere, possibly being held hostage. There may be more to that story, I don't know. We've met various people on the space station that have helped us, that we're helping. The very cool guy who makes food, who we're getting a whole story. We had a whole story arc. We got mushrooms for him. We helped rebuild a bar. We helped someone mend their ship. We babysit a kid. We've done lots of stuff. So this is on Game Pass, but I did receive a copy of the game for streaming purposes. The ethics statement was on the start screen. This came out just gotta look it up. In May. But we didn't play it until like September, October. And I'm glad I did play it. It's not what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. It's not what I was expecting. It was almost better. I mean, oh no, 100% it was better than what I was expecting. I was confused. I was intrigued by the storyline and confused by like the description of the mechanics. But it's basically you roll dice and then you can do actions, and it's a little bit D&D-esque. You have, you know, abilities, you can level them up. At the moment I've got like +2 on it on a lot of things, based off completing quests effectively. And I can't remember where I left it. I'm fairly certain I was doing, yeah, so episode Refuge is out now. Refuge continues the story that started in Flux. We failed massively at Flux. We are an operator, which is the class we can be. There were 3 classes. We are on cycle 62. Each cycle is effectively a turn. You roll dice and you can do stuff during that turn with those dice. There are also some other things you can do that don't require a dice, I think. But yeah, so... Right, okay, so we are currently trying to plant a seed. I think that's oh god, Jesus, that's not what I want to do. Actually, that's our character. So, actually, we don't have +2 on everything. We have +2 on 3. We've got +1 on everything. We need 4 more upgrade points to get the last 2 skills. And then 6 to get the... so we need 10 in total to fully upgrade. Our engineer, interface, and engage are at +2. Endure and intuit are not. And we've got pretty good stuff. But yeah, what I was trying to do was to figure out how to complete. So we've done all these, and all of these gave us skill points. Okay, not all of those. Some of them we did fail. But we're playing this knowing that there are ways to play it, you know. So at the moment we are trying to grow a seed. I think we've been I seem to remember the Greenway we like found mushroom farms, and we've got scientists who wanted us to get spores, and then there's spores that also become mushrooms that also become the yeah, okay, so because we are we are a runaway robot, our body begins to break down, so that's what the stability at the top is. We can get tablets to, you know, maintain that stability, but also there's like a mushroom that lets us do that, and if we get this mushroom, then the scientists can synthesize this compound that keeps us alive. Apparently it's like an intelligent mushroom, because when the settlers in the Greenway came there, they got sick and the mushroom grew and it had the cure. So the station is somewhat sentient. There's also like sentient AIs, and we did rescue one of those, and various things. So, Emphis. Right, yes, okay. This is the mushroom guy. We still haven't finished his quest. We need to bring in more mushrooms. So that is obviously something I want to do. We need to bring him Matsuit caps. Bliss is the engineer that we've been doing stuff for. We invested in her business because we had the cash, and it felt like a good idea to do that. So we are completing repair jobs. And then there's also this work your way into the crew, help complete the ship, which I'm less engaged in because I don't really want to go off the station. So yeah. Basically, this here, I can just about point at it, is how many turns effectively it'll take to build. Sometimes you get like +2 or 3 segments of it, but effectively it can be turns. The dice all give you like certain amounts of success. Because I've got +2 on a lot of things, it wouldn't make any sense to put the 5 in this thing. I'd put a 2 in and I'd get a 6, which is pretty much guaranteed success. But this building the ship, you know, we got a job building the ship, and that is a quest we could do, but I don't actually want to leave. So I am leaving that quest for now. I might do it on another run. We have just some redeem stuff for credits. It doesn't give you much. So I currently have 1 Matsuit cap, which I need for the mushroom guy. How many does it need? Oh, I don't know. It doesn't say it there. I can go and have a look at his thing. Oops. Oh, gosh. Right. Okay. We have one ship mind core. Possibly for a reason. We can sell it if we need the credits, but we don't right now. We have 3 scrap components. We can use scrap components to improve our stability at our house, I believe. We've got 3 stabilizers, which is great, which means that we don't have to lose too many dice because we can just restabilize. I don't want to waste them, but you know. And then we have some credits. And then if we go into the this is like the digital view of the ship. We don't have any items. We don't have any data items. So, you know. But there are various bits that you can do in here to unlock stuff. The Havenage agent gives you Havenage intel. There's also the Yet Again agents. But there's not really much. And then there's other parts of it. Hi, Alkesh. I'm just recapping and trying to figure out where I was. So this was where I was originally living. So I can self-repair with scrap, which improves stability. We can also inject a stabilizer. We can also sunbathe to gather energy. I prefer to eat the mushrooms. Eat the mushroom people things. There are docks. This is so many actions before the ships return. And the ships have salvage and stuff. This is our bar that we rebuilt. There is a we can get energy by doing these. We can get credits by doing the bar shift. So yeah, we don't want to cook our mushrooms right now though. Excuse me. But we built that bar up. This is just the hardware exchange. If you have scrap components, you can sell them. I'm not selling them anymore because I can use them to repair myself. You can also play the exchange if you've got a good dice. There's a fabricator which makes the ship mines. If you have 3 parts, we don't need that. This is our mushroom guy. So he wants two mushroom caps for the recipe. And he gives like 3 energy bits. This is the tea house where our friend was working. We have a mechanic friend who helped us get rid of the tracker that they put on us. So we're now not being tracked. You can also give data there to get credits. This is our actual house. We have a cat we can feed. We do that with cryo. Before we go to sleep, possibly when we wake up, I can't remember. But yeah, this is the only place we can do that. So we generally come back to our, our thing. There's also this delivery company. Excuse me. So we can get energy, or we can do deliveries to get credits. This is a random guy which gave us wanted data and gave us some random stuff. We can't do anything more with that. There is a transit center. We could steal a shipment, then the security would be alerted. There is an achievement for doing that. I really don't want to do it on this particular playthrough, excuse me. Or you can just, earn credits. There's also the spoke importer that will, give you money for ship mines, give you money for mushrooms, or you can buy a ship mine. But yeah, and then there's the elevator that goes up to the hub, which is where the lounge is. We can buy a spacer meal. There's also sleeping quarters if you wanted to pay to be in there. And there's the repair bay. So we're waiting for a fresh contact. We'll get that in one more cycle. My laptop went to sleep because I'm on the wrong screen. There we go. Right. Yes, so this is us helping Bliss. I don't know how many contracts we need to do She had a partner who basically stole all her money, which sucks. All their money. I don't actually know. I'm not going to assume. So then we paid to get the ferry over. Then we have the farm stacks, which is basically we can either barter for food or work for money. There is also Steal the Harvest, which can give us a lot of energy, but why would I want to do that? Because that seems mean. If I'm playing as an arse, then of course I would. So they've got my mushroom groves. We can collect spores. We can also forage for fungus. It's better to collect spores because we grow the fungus, I think. But if we need fungus real quick, then this is our garden. Our spores are currently germinating. They take 4 cycles to germinate. And then they grow into various types of mushrooms. This is the nursery. The seed is planted. Yes, so we are waiting for the seed to grow. That's what I did last time, I think. We waited for the seed to grow. Also in the labs, we can also... Yeah, this is the stabilizer. So it's the club head mushrooms that give stabilizer. So we get 2 of those, we get another stabilizer. Then there's this cult. They have a sleep pod there if you don't want to go all the way back. It's a self-sustaining commune. Literally, you can use up a dice. It doesn't matter what, it will always give you 2 energy. It doesn't matter if you fail or whatever, which is nice. It's a nice commune. This is the wastes. You can get scrap here, which is great. And if you fail, you lose 2 condition, which kind of defeats the purpose of, which is why would I be foraging for scrap. So this is the Spagestacing. This is where I was staging for the DLC, which is where we pick up with the cordon. Okay, so the first part of the flotilla story is complete. Yeah, we helped them a little bit. We got the supplies. We did not manage to get them through the cordon. They got captured. And the other guy ran away. So in 3 cycles, we can find out what happens next. So I think we left it because we're doing a lot of waiting, basically. Excuse me. So it also saves. So this is why I'm not doing any stealing, because, I don't want to... balk anything up. So I'm going to get I've got a +1 on that, so I'm just going to, for now, collect some spores because we will need spores to replant. Thinking about it, I'm also going to check if there's anything in the ether. I don't think there's anything in the ether around here. I should have checked in the ether up on the up in the lift. Yeah, I can't remember how many spores you need. But yeah, no, we did some stuff up here to like trap a robot, because every time we did actions in the core, in the cloud thing, we were being chased by this AI worm. Okay, mushroom groves. Let's stick in a 4. Should still at least get a couple of spores. Excellent. So positive outcome gives us the top. Yeah, we've got a perk where it tells us the positive and the negatives. If we wanted girolles, we would forage. We don't want girolles, we want matsuks. So we need to grow them. So now we've got 4 spores, which means that we can populate our groves. Again, when we've harvested, we really are just waiting for stuff. We did have a way to get stabilizers that wasn't mushrooms. Mushrooms are now really important. We had a doctor, and like a whole thing there. There's the Yetsuka, or whatever the name is. I can't remember. I'm terrible with the actual names of things. Yetagan. We had the Yetagan, and we had a doctor that had originally worked for the place that made us. and so we could buy stabilizers, but then they closed that down, and we had like a whole thing where we revitalized the area. Did some security, did some deliveries, did a whole conspiracy thing where it found out that the head of the Yatta gang was being controlled, and when we turned off the control, the guy died because he'd basically been replaced by he was a puppet, and that was really sad. But now they've gone away. I don't know whether they'll come back. There's also our engineer guy. So I don't really want to build. That's the wrong place. I'm not gonna cook. So 15 on a bar shift. Basically just want to find... I could do with a couple of energy. Yeah, we've done various things to get us various discounts and stuff, so, you know. That is a predictable energy. Not energy, cryo. But yeah, I love this game. Is my battery low? I just charged it. Did it not charge? Or has it not synced? Hang on, my battery didn't charge. Let me plug it in again. I thought I'd charged it, but I thought it was charged as well. So either it's just completely going, and that will be slightly annoying, because then I have to research a new Fitbit. And they don't make the one I have anymore. And it's definitely out of warranty. Or I didn't imagine it. I clicked on it and it said it was charged. Okay, well, you know. Maybe it was just a glitch. Anyway, we'll put that back onto charge. It's set the point. So yeah, this is a really cool game. We are in the waiting period, though. We are waiting for things to happen. We are waiting for things to happen. Let's use commune. Let's stick a 1 in here. Let's stick a 2 in there, actually. Oops. Because it'll at least give us a 4. We may as well. Negative outcome. Isn't the best work, but we still got 2 energy, so now we've got full energy. It's always good. And the wastes. It's only a 4. I don't want to lose condition. Yeah, this is a problem, is that we're just stuck on a couple of cycles, so I may as well just go and express delivery. No, that doesn't give us much. Cryo. Gives us a 5. We should get at least 15. We don't really need the money right now, but we don't know what we're going to need for the bar. Okay, 13 for neutral. Cool, let's go back to our house. I don't remember if we fed the cat, so I'm going to do that. I don't know if that will result in anything, but you know. So we will end the cycle. We lose a condition. We lose 2 energy. Can't remember exactly, but yeah, 2 energy and 1 condition. So if we input a scrap, we should bulk our condition up again. There we go. Then oh, hello. Right, Bliss's thingies. Right, okay. Sleeper. Moritz is waiting for you on your way out. How have you been? Busy? I see, he nods. Well, I'll get right to it. Bliss sent me down. We've secured another contract and she needs your help. That's the message. He pauses. Look, I know last time the payment didn't come through, but you did good work. Please knows that. That's no problem. Okay, then. He pauses again. She's doing her best, you know. I know. He nods. See you up there. Moritz turns and strides off, leaving you in the corridor. Time to help Bliss, and maybe this time, you think to yourself, it'll work out. I got the best die for that, but hey, you know, let's go see what it needs. Because, you know, why not? And we've still got cycles for the other... Whoa, okay. Right, okay, so... Right, we could sacrifice a section. Vent a section, you got a better chance of saving the remaining crops, but you'll lose some in the process. The question is how many? The sycamore seed needs to be reinforced and sealed, otherwise the crop will be lost. Fragile biome. Sycamore seed's internal biome is in trouble. Every action will bring it closer to collapse. Okay, so we've also got the option of... Alright, so... If we do a success on the left-hand one, we have +4 towards saving the crop. If we fail, we basically kill the biome. We don't have a 5. So it may be better to do this and reinforce the bulkheads. Working in a 0G farm is tricky. Torch the heat sealant. Everything can damage the crop you're trying to save. But that's only a +2. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, I think. Our mushrooms aren't complete. So basically it's Bliss's thing or nothing. So... do we chance sacrificing a section? It's a one-use item. Right. Actually, no. Let's not chance that. Let's use guaranteed 6 here to reinforce the bulkheads. But we get +1 to fragile biome anyway. Okay. I'm just thinking if we +2 it a little... Yeah, okay. A 5 is probably just okay. Should be safe. Okay. Neutral outcome. Okay. Working in the wet and heat's dry, make progress with the plants near the bulkhead look half dead. Right, okay. I'm not going to chance any 1s and 2s. Just not. If we get better dice next time, you know. Okay, descend back. So let's go burn a 1 to get guaranteed energy. And check how many actions we've still got. 4, 5 more for that, and 2 more for the mushrooms, so yeah. Here we go. And also I have forgotten all of the accents that I did, so you know. Neutral. Cool. I've got some 2s. The other option is harvest some data. Because then I can... we get 2 data, which gives us some credits. So yeah, we have a perk where we get 2 data, and that gives us extra credits, so we may as well. Right. Repaired unit. Feed the cat. Because, you know, important to feed the cat. Okay, and the cycle. How are you doing, Alkash? Have you played this? You played this at all? Okay. Oh, we've got a 6. Excellent. I mean, 6s are kind of almost worthless a little bit these days because we don't need the 6, but we will use that on that repair. One-time use, come on. Right, okay. You vent the section in progressive sequence, allowing Blister rapidly rescue crops while you work. You gain more than you lose. Excellent. So now... You started it recently, cool. You're making different decisions. Because that's always fun. Okay. Plus at your side, you work neatly. It's impossible to cause no damage, but you do the best you can. Okay, cool. So we just need an extra +2. I'm not going to chance it on a 4. I'm definitely not going to chance it on a 1. There's no time limit. And yeah, we got full sacrifice. We got the full 5 for that one. I think it was 5. And we got like a +8 or something fragile, but we didn't kill the bio. So I say we wait for another good die to do that rather than risking it. But yeah, no, I really enjoy the story on this. As I said, I've completely forgotten all the voices I did for the characters. We've got one more from my aviary. My seed is still growing. It needs another 4. We may as well burn a 1. Because it becomes a 3 anyway. Just to get some energy. Ooh, I got an extra energy that I didn't need. You know, but, you know, just in case. And then one more until I can do the DLC. Do I do the DLC straight away? It just unlocks it. It doesn't mean I have to do it straight away. At least I don't think it commits me to it. It may commit me to it, but I'm still, you know, going to be aware. So extract data. We may need data at some point, but also it's less about, you know, needing the data. It's more about I can sell it. So I've pretty much got to the I am fairly well established. Could do with some more stuff, but you know, not the end of the world. Let's feed my cat. Only costs 3 cryo. Crunches up the crackers. Sometimes I let you stroke them, sometimes not. And then we will just do a quick self-repair. Just means, yeah, we've only got 1 scrap left though, so we need to do some scrap looking for at some point. Give me at least a 4, 5, 4. Oh, those are beautiful dice. Excellent. Oh, right, the eye. It hits you like a wave. A white-edged breaker roaring inland with the force of the entire ocean. Okay. The impact is a screaming brightness blanking out everything. Behind it is silence. You float in silence, suspended. No, you do not float. You are the silence. It has filled you up. It has emptied you out. You cease to exist. Time passes, though you do not feel it passing. Then something flickers in the silence, and then something moves. That something is you. You open your eyes to a metal ceiling of flickering light. You feel the floor around you, patting it with shaking hands. You assemble an image of yourself, lying on your back in a corridor. You shake off the silence and sit up. What was that? You glance around looking for a sign of some change. Damage on the walls, shouts in the distance, fire and fear. Nothing has changed. The silence sits around you like fog. You try to think, furrowing your brow. How do you think? It doesn't seem too easy anymore. You force the pathways to light up. the data banks to grant access. You feel like a fraction drive starting up after a long, cold shutdown in a cold vacuum. In the wave was noise. Just as the sound produced by a wave raking across a pebble beach represents trillions of impacts heard as a single roar, so this sound was the result of trillions of electrons flickering in place, heard as a single, impossible scream. A memory/image comes to you, one from the moment before the wave hit. You squint as you imagine it, trying to cohere its blurry form. A broken skeletal ring, the eye, and then a vast arc approaching it, a razor-edged white curve. The wave. The wave approaches the eye spins, turning each part to face that fast white edge. You recognize their skeletal data cloud forms, the bright market, the low end, the greenway, the wastes. Then the wave hits just as the flotilla, the cordon, turns to face it, and after that, everything is silence. You open your eyes again. That, the epicenter. But of what? Ooh! I wonder if that's to do with the DLC. Excellent. Oh, hello. We have scrap freight. So we can buy some scrap. Cryo, we have cryo. We may as well buy our allowance. I can smell Yorkshire pudding. Sometimes we get scrap, sometimes we get... Yeah, so we got... Oh my god, just go me down here. Okay, so we got 2 ship mine fragments. And 1 scrap from that. It's like, we don't need ship mine fragments now, thank you very much. Okay, so there'll be another ship docking, but I think that does ship mines. I mean, we can definitely offload them. We can sell them. I don't know if we'll need one at any point, but, you know, it's basically like, you know, cash in hand. Okay, so I'm just going to go and finish Bliss's contract thing. So, we've got a 4 plus 2 is 6. So we saved the crop. You and Bliss are floating in the bay's airlock, waiting for it to cycle. You pick a few leaves from your clothes as you wait. They float around the chamber as if carried by lazy wind. Clean work. Bliss bows a little. Well, thank you, Sleeper. You didn't do too bad yourself. She checks her tool belt. Seems like we are getting into a good rhythm. The now familiar sequence of clunks and rattles sound out, and then the door hisses open. The moment it does, you know something's gone wrong again. What's all this? Bliss asks a confused-looking Moritz. Behind him are a set of crates anchored to the bay floor. He's clearly just brought them in through the bay's freight lock. Moritz looks nervously between the two of you before answering. It's payment? He runs a hand along the crate. The Sycamore Seed crew just brought them over. He stops, but seeing the look on Bliss's face, he adds, they were very thankful. I bet they were. She clenches her fist. What the hell is inside? Moritz leans over and struggles with the catches on each side of the top crate. As he does, Bliss turns to you. Don't say it. Bliss stares into space. Don't you dare say it. Say what? You know. She looks back at you. This isn't my fault. Moritz finally gets the catches free and the lid floats off, drifting up into the bay. As it does, a small brown lump floats up with it. Moritz reaches out and catches it as it passes him. Is that a... mushroom? Bliss finishes. A damn mushroom. They paid us in mushrooms? Not just mushrooms. He holds out a clump of tightly packed leaves. Produce. Bliss starts laughing. Goddamn Haifa commune. Should have known they didn't have a chit to rub between them. She knocks a small brown mushroom across the bay. Can I have some mushrooms? I'll take some mushrooms. Stop, Bliss. Moritz grabs her hand. These are good. Fresh. We can sell them. To whom, Moritz? Are we running a grocer's now? We need cryo, otherwise this whole bay will be shut down. We can't pay for parts with leafy greens. She waggles them in Moritz's face. I can use them. Bliss raises an eyebrow. What, 4 whole crates? Even you can't be that hungry. You can take a few, but the rest will sell. She smiles to herself. Or at least Moritz will sell them if he's so eager. Moritz closes up the crates and starts moving them. Oh, isn't that bad, Bliss? It's a step in the right direction. He glances at you, looking for backup. They'll sell well. Bliss sighs. Looks like I went into business with a couple of wannabe farmers. She laughs. Prove me wrong, then. Show me this is a windfall. She kicks away towards the new patched-together terminal. Until then, I'll be working on how to keep this place open. Moritz mouths a thank you and goes back to moving the crates. You better be on your way, too. We got mushrooms, right? We got 3 Girol caps. We got 3 Girol caps for that. That's not really great. Okay, fine. So now we've got to wait 4 more... Oh, is that the 3rd time lucky? 4 more cycles. Last chance. Well, we'll do our best. Right. Let's go and check on our mushrooms. Okay, so the nest, the seed still needs a couple. Do I click on it? If it lets me end the turn, I don't have to click on it yet. Because I've got mushrooms to harvest. Okay, so I mean we've got 3 yields and 3 great dice, so you know, and then we'll grab some energy. 2 random rare mushrooms. Two random rare mushrooms. Two random rare mushrooms. Okay, what do we get? We got 3 club heads. Excellent. And enough Masuki caps. Excellent. Right, so we should hopefully be able to plant some spores. And we need 3, and we have 4. This is good. I love this game. I love this game. I mean, I've forgotten all my accents for all my peoples. But, like, the story is just so engaging. And there's so many things going on. You can literally have a different game each time. It's great. Okay, so the only thing I can do with club heads is get a stabilizer. So we may as well get a stabilizer for when we run out of scrap. I've got 4 now. We're well sorted. Let's do... Oh, no. Let's... Because there's no point in wasting a dice. Because giving the guy mushrooms is going to give us energy. And possibly an achievement. No, that's not the right thing. Slightly further on. There. Emphas. Right. Emphas mentions an old recipe for Matsutake broth. Normally needs 2 handfuls of Matsutake caps, freshly sourced. I'm invested in this mushroom guy. Emphas inhales the deep autumnal aroma of the Matsutake caps and nods. He seems impressed. Right, so we're waiting. Okay. Right, so we need 3 cycles for that. Okay, so we can go back and grab 2 energy from the commune by doing some work. There we go. And we'll fill up on energy. Go back to our apartment. We don't want to lose out on dice, so I'm going to go to the wrong place. The only minor complaint I have is that occasionally it's hard to get into the actions. But usually a combination of A and wiggling the stick works. So self-repair so that we don't drop below 5 die. And then we're going to feed our cat. I know we fed it, but I just feel like I want to feed the cat and it's 3 credits. You aren't finished with this cycle. Damn it, no, we have to do the DLC scene. Okay, so we committed ourselves to the DLC. It's fine, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I just want to get ending today. Oh yeah, so I was saying I smell Yorkshire pudding, but I'm not cooking Yorkshire pudding. It's just my oven just permanently smells of it since I made Toad in the Hole a couple of weeks ago. I'm making just a casserole, but now I kind of also want to make Yorkshire pudding. I just don't have any eggs. Well, okay, I lie. I have eggs. They're like 3 months old, and I don't know if they're good eggs, and I can't be asked to find out. And yeah, so even though I do want Yorkshire pudding, I don't know whether it's feasible to have Yorkshire pudding. Anyway, even before you reach the cordon, the damage is obvious. The blinking red lights, the drones, the tugs are all gone. Half the cordon's frame has also been shorn away, perhaps through the impact of some falling ship. People push past you in the corridor, but both Havenage staff and contractors clearing the cordon. Try and speak to them. You're met with suspicious looks and scattered warnings, but little else. From the equipment being carried out, you suspect there's no relief effort. Havenage are pulling out of this section of the station. The further you pass into the cordon, the less people you see. You can see a few sections have been closed off, their bulkhead doors sealed and red warning lights punctuating the corridors, but otherwise most areas seem functional. Suddenly, you feel a handful on your shoulder. Havenage security? You should have known better than to wander into this place. You brace yourself as you turn. Oh, Sleeper! Peake's wide eyes greet you as you turn. The cordon! They glance around, panicked. It's gone down! The Briar and Eshy is still there. Do you think she did this, or perhaps Havenage messed up? They start pulling more towards the edge of the cordon. We should find her. What if? It wasn't her or Havenage. Peake stops. What are you saying? There was a wave. Peake frowns. A wave? What do you mean? They pause to think. A signal that only affects electrical systems, perhaps. An EMP would have taken out most of the station, but... Peake runs a hand through their hair. I don't know what you're saying, Sleeper. That doesn't sound... They look away down the corridor for a moment. Look, I have to find Eshy. I'm sure you felt something, but can we talk about that later? They set off down the corridor. I can't sit around talking any longer. Find me on the flotilla. I'm going to find a way to Eshy no matter what. With that, they rush away into the depths of the cordon, leaving you behind. Seems like you'll need to follow if you want to get any answers. Okay. Scrap for passage. They'll take you if you bring some scrap. Damn! We only have one scrap. Okay. I'm hoping that once we've paid for passage, we can just use it. But, okay, so we're not committed for anything more than that. We may have to forage for some scrap because, yeah. We only have that one ship that gives us scrap, and we ran out. I think sometimes we can get scrap by doing something. Wait, we can get scrap sometimes by doing something. Engineer. Okay, engineer actions. That's an endurance. That's interface. Okay. Anyway. So... we should be still fine. With a -1, now we can end the cycle. It's not put a time limit countdown on it yet, so I guess until we go over, we're fine. So we're still waiting for the seed to grow. Still a couple of cycles before Bliss needs us again. Still a couple of cycles before our mushrooms. I don't know what the seed will do. But if we want scrap, the waste has a scrap thing. So now we have 2 scrap. I'm impatient. We're gonna go do it, you know. You hand over the scrap and squeeze into the crowded shuttle. Time to head to the flotilla. Okay, is there any data access? Oh, I just really have a craving for pudding. Like, but the way my mum and me make it, not like just we have a slightly different recipe. That's the specific one that I'm having a craving for, which I could make if my eggs were okay. But I think it takes... I can't remember how long it takes. Like, mixing up the batter's fine. If I wanted to have it with the casserole, then yeah. I've still got time, potentially. Okay, let's have a look at the flotilla. I'm just really fantasizing about this thing. Okay. So, flotilla's friends, shifting ships and systems and social structures. The only way to navigate the flotilla is by rolling up your sleeves and helping out. Okay, so we need 8. We have a repeatable action with endurance. Getting the necessary supplies to each ship to meet their needs is a huge task. Joining the hauling team is the simplest thing you can do to help. That gives us +2 if we get a, general success. I'm guessing neutral will be 1, and if we don't, we lose condition, which we don't want to do, really. We also have damage control. The wave hit the systems more than anything, especially, so there's 1,000 tiny repairs. That's an interface job, which is, we've got a +2 on. It's risky, but not dangerous. That also gives us +2, and we lose energy with that one. But no time limit. We don't need scrap so much. We do have pills. I just don't want to dip down, and it just feels like wasteful to use a pill for 2 energy pots. But also, do I really want to dip down below 5 die now? So I think we do a haul supplies with our 6, which is just a 6. 6 just became kind of worthless. You run some water out to a struggling farming ship on the flotilla's edge. They are so pleased they reward you with some freshly cooked produce. Excellent. We got some energy as well. Well, that's useful. Okay, and then because we have a 4, which gives us a 6 there, let's do a damage control. You reboot a tanker's proximity controls, keeping it from drifting into other ships. The occupants are impressed and won't stop thanking you. That's very good of it. Okay, we're halfway done. I don't want to risk doing a thing, so... Oh, hello. And we've got a peak. As you walk into the bay of the climbing briar, the familiarity of the space overcomes any trepidation. It feels good to be back. And the return feels earned, especially after all the work it took to figure out a route through the flotilla's jumble of ships that might lead you to this blue streak. You see Eshi and Peak immediately sitting at the back of the bay, deep in conversation. Their closeness causes you to stop, suddenly aware that you might be interrupting something private. Peak is gesturing wildly as Eshi stares out in the middle distance, hunched over. As Peak tries to get her attention, she spots you. Sleeper? Eshi nods. Incredible work back there. She smiles. Sorry I couldn't wait for you and Peak, but the moment I saw the cordon go down, I had to get in here. Peak shakes her head, leaping before looking as usual. Peak smiles, but I'm glad we're all reunited. So we at least got them the supplies. So even though they couldn't get through the cordon, they had all the supplies. And I think we upgraded their engines or something. But we just didn't have enough good dye. It's better to start the DLC later in the game, put it that way. Once you've got some +2s, once you basically, can repair with scaffold, you've got a good enough lot of condition pills, that's when you should start. Not when I did, because I went, oh, well, I'll just do the story bit, and then suddenly had a countdown. But we got all the supplies, we just didn't manage to get them through the cordon straight away. However, maybe if we'd have gotten through the cordon, they would have been damaged. I don't know. So, I'm going to go with we at least got the supplies. To be honest, Peak adds, I can't believe it. The flux event knocked the entire cordon system offline. The flotilla is free and Havenage are backing off. Peak smiles at you. You must be our good luck charm. Flux event? That's what the refugees are calling it, Peak explains. Apparently that's what they called it when it started happening around Ember. What exactly is happening? Hard to tell. It's some kind of disruptive wave that only affects electrical systems, Peak chips in. Typically, systems are screened against radiation interference out here anyway, but this seems to be dulled but not stopped by those defenses. Oh, is it dangerous for us? Basically, the crisis continues. The cord may be down, but this brings a whole other set of problems as she paces away. You should tell them, Eshi. Pete glances at her. Please. Eshi doesn't respond. Tell you what, you stare at her back, waiting for a response. Please, Eshi, haven't they shown they can be trusted? Pete nods towards you. Eshi turns, her arms folded tightly across her chest. She goes to start and then stops. You can see the anger in her eyes, but you realize it's not directed at you or at anyone else. She's angry with herself. I brought weapons to the flotilla, she pauses, and now Havenage has them. You suddenly remember the sleek crates that were tucked into the bay, marked with the yellow sigil. The ones Eshi told you were just supplies. Havenage? They seized them from me when they caught the prior. Eshi kicks at the floor. Shitheads. We hope they will keep them safe, but given recent events, Pete glances nervous at Eshi, we aren't so sure that Havenage is the right place for the weapons to be. I wouldn't take it past them to use to take the cordon back by force, Eshi glares. They're scared and losing control. In my experience, that's when institutions do dangerous things. Whether that's true, we can't do anything about it right now, Eshi, short of marching back into the yards at the other end of the eye and taking them back. Eshi looks like that is exactly what she would like to do. Pete smiles nervously. Plus, we have other things to be getting on with. I want to study understand the flux, Sleeper, to study it. Pete's eyes light up. This thing is changing the entire system, causing problems across the inner system, driving refugees off Ember's moons, and now it's here. If we don't do something about it, Pete pauses, it's a problem for all of us. I can see more immediate problems, as she sniffs. Pete ignores her. I've been looking at the networks, and when the flux event hit, it changed things. It shuffled systems, corrupted nodes, and broke open data stores. Ooh! They take out a slate and show you a flickering polygon. Some of these flux nodes have appeared near the epicenter of the event, but I can't get access. You, however, I saw the way you worked with data when we were preparing for the run. I think you can get into these things. Ooh, more data to hack! I want you to find a flux node and bring me anything you can extract. They come and go, but most can be found in the barely functioning networks of the wastes. Start there. Perhaps together we can find something that might point us towards what the flux is and where it comes from. Okay? They smile. I knew you'd agree. Eshi looks indignant. Don't waste too much time chasing ghosts, Sleeper. There are people on this flotilla that need any help they can get. I'm sure Sleeper can do both, Eshi. Peek smiles at you. I'll see you here when you have something. Good hunting. And they wave you out as Eshi stomps away to make plans of her own. Well, we're halfway to helping the thing. Ooh, we got a new drive. So, emphasis nearly complete. Bliss is doing the best we can. The seed is growing. We are going to study the flux. So, yeah, we need some more good dye to do that, really. 4s and 5s. We need to deliver flux data. Ooh, we might also get bonus data. Right, so we have a fluxed node. What does it need? It needs a 6, a 5, or a 4, and we have a 3. Does that count? No. Okay, right, so that's not going to work. Alright, node flickers in and out. Okay, so our ability gives us 3 possible dye, but we don't have any of those dyes. So that's not going to work right now. Is it worth mining for scrap? With a 4? Probably not. It's worth trying to collect some spores. Yes, okay. Perfect. And we've got a 1 left. I mean, we could use it for energy, but we only need 1 energy for a full, and we're fine at the moment. So, my lip hurts. Let's just... Oh, hang on. Is there a Yatagan one? There we go. Let's use the Yatagan one. Ow. My fingers hurt, my lip hurts. Basically, I'm falling apart. Nah, I'm just drying out. Okay. Okay, so we don't have any scrap. But we have 4 pills. Let's use a pill. It's not a great use of resources, but it gives us another it repairs our body as well. Feed the stray because I like my cat. And we'll end the cycle. And we have a 4. Excellent. Seed. Yeah, this is perfect time to probably do the DLC anyway because... Alright. We are waiting for so many things. We just got 1 data. Okay. Betting it's we can do this multiple times thing. Peak asked you to help them extract data from a flux node in the waste that appeared after the flux recent event. We have a data. We are delivering flux data. Peak receives the data on their slate and begins working at decoding it immediately. Ooh, Sleeper, come and look at this! Peak is poring over one of the displays of the makeshift decoding suite they've set up in the Climbing Briar's cargo bay. On the screen, a clump of data pathways like an ingrown root ball has started to untangle. This is an existing node corrupted by the flux event. It's totally twisted up. They glance at you to check you're listening. But inside, you watch as the unwinding pathways leave behind patterns of negative spaces, like shadows staying behind despite their caster leaving. It's a whole other data set. Peak's eyes shine bright in the pale screen light. The flux event somehow seeds this data deep into the gaps in the node, wrapping them around it. What's in there? Not sure. Peak frowns. It doesn't mean very cooperative. You watch the screen, the patterns of shadows becoming obvious now as each layer of pathways is pulled away. The flux event itself did a number on unprotected nodes like this one. Most of the eye's systems are screened against radiation interference, but those exposed nodes? Peak makes a ripping motion with her hands. Torn apart. Peak points to a thick tangle of threads on the screen. Look here, it looks like it's been tangled purposefully, but it's actually that all the points within the node have been randomly rearranged. It's as if the node was a bag of ball bearings and the flux shook them. The pathways tried to account for the rearrangement once the system came back on, hence the tangle. Peak pauses as the node continues to unwind. Although, Peak muses, it was less like shaking a bag of ball bearings, and more like making them all simultaneously occupy a superposition of every possible position in the bag before locking them back into a new configuration. They smile sheepishly, but that's technicality. Does any of this help us? For now, not especially. It explains the damage flux does to systems, but the method is an exotic one. Peak runs a hand through their hair. What we need to know is what's causing it. Where's it coming from? Peak turns away from the screen, meeting your eye, and there's something else. They pause. Have you spoken with the refugees? Yes. Peak lowers their voice instinctively. What they're reporting, massive system failures, cascading collapses of life support, of terraforming systems, total data corruptions. Peak swallows. The flux shouldn't do that. It can fundamentally rearrange the structure of systems, especially those poorly shielded, but totally collapsing heavy-duty industrial systems, fail-safes and all? That doesn't make sense. Those kind of systems are built for deep space, for solar flares, for radiation. The flux might penetrate them, but any reconfiguration should have been repairable. Peak looks at the screen, where the decoding node lies almost fully open. The shadow pattern of the negative spaces that existed within its scrambled interior darkens the screen, like a bruises showing the pattern of the object that made them. I need to look into something. I have an idea what must be causing this wave, triggering the flux, but I need time to research it. Can I help? Peak shakes their head. I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I want to keep this to myself for now. If you need something to do, the flotilla could surely do with help. From what I learned from Eshi, things are tense there. Where's Eshi? Peak glances around the bay. Spee out. I've been focusing on this, I can't say I've noticed, although the quiet is nice. They smile. Hey, Dicky. Give me some time, Sleeper. Peak turns back to their console. I'll have some answers soon enough, I hope. You take one last glance at the uncoiling node as you leave, the dark shapes it leaves behind, somehow troubling. You try to shake them from your mind. There are things to be done elsewhere. Ooh, right, so we are waiting 6 cycles for that. Cool, that should give us a chance to do stuff. So, do we chance this with our energy. Yeah, go on. 5 should be fine. Positive income. Yeah. Okay. And let's chance it again. Neutral! Okay. You work on the left side of the biggest tanker, expanding capacity and opening up more bays and bulkheads to move refugees into. Okay, let's chance it one more time. Then we're done with this flotilla friend thing. Neutral! Woohoo! Okay, right. We should now have... Ooh, Sol. Someone told me I should be thanking you. The voice comes from behind you, cutting through the chaos of the crowded, cavernous bay. You freeze. Don't be afraid now, I've been hunting you, sure, but for the best reasons. You turn to see bright eyes set in a rough face framed in rusted metal. Sol. He holds out his hand, the other clamped firmly around a knotted wooden cane. Shake his hand. He grips you firmly with a heavy and calloused hand. Forgive me, as soon as I saw you, I knew who you were. Sol puts a hand on your shoulder. I've been told a sleeper was part of that supply run that came in several cycles ago. Yay! That did work. He nods. A very welcome act, and we will thank you for it. Walk with me, sleeper. Sol sets off through the bay, his partial suit hissing and creaking as it helps carry him through the busy crowds. You notice people making way for you and Sol, standing back and letting you pass. You pass a makeshift kitchen, steaming pots on heating elements, a restless queue collecting meals. The algae that came through isn't exactly a full meal, but with what we have here, we've been able to make it work. You see a ladle of greenish stew dished out. The colour's something, isn't it? Sol smiles. So, yeah, the fact that we got all of the supplies that they needed to take through, but we didn't manage to get them through, helped. So I don't feel quite like it was so much of a failure in the first part. Sol leads you out of the larger bay into a corridor lined with storage rooms that are now serving as dorms. You see someone filling a metal container from a standpipe, the water gushing out readily. Sol nods to the person as he passes. Just a little further now. Sol leads you up into a freight elevator and whistles to some unseen operator to start it up. It jerks into life, and as you pass through the layers of the ship, you see people on every level, supplies crammed into every available space, and sparks leaping in bursts as the ship is reshaped and modified to sustain its population. Our families were expecting an exodus from the flotilla. The flux events put a stop to that. Sol stretches. Some are crossed to the eye, but many just to gather salvage or score a hot meal. So the pressure on our supplies is shrinking, but not like I'd hoped. With the flux reaching all the way out here, people are starting to understand that our journey might not be over. Sol stares grimly ahead. Suddenly the freight elevator screeches to a halt, and Sol leads you slowly out into a wide room of chairs and terminals, ringed by a mezzanine and with a glass roof above showing the distant hub and the far curve of the edge below. The people at the terminals nod to him as he enters. This is your ship? Sol nods. That's right. The pilgrim's seed is mine to care for. He leads you up to a rail platform at the centre of the room and stops. She chose me, so to speak. Well, at least I recruited, and I do my best to serve him. Sol looks around the bridge of the ship, a pained expression on his face. I'll admit that the responsibility isn't one that suits me, though we rarely get to choose such things. He glances back at you. But you, Sleeper, from what I understand, you chose to try and help us here, is that right? I did my best to. Sol nods silently. But I have to ask you, Sleeper, why are you here now? Sol leads back, and you feel his eyes on you, assessing you. I still want to help. Sol nods. I've got to be honest with you, Sleeper, I'm not quite buying it. He smiles. I'm not trying to make judgments on your character, but in my experience, people do things for more reasons than just to be helpful. I mean, sometimes that is my sole purpose for existing, is I want to help people. I don't have any ulterior motive other than I guess it makes me happy to help people. Dopamine? I mean, sometimes I want to help me because I am also people. And that's why I buy myself fuzzy things and games. But yeah. I like that they're expanding the story in this. And I don't know when the third part is coming out. I've not got any information on that. The first part was already out when I started the game. The second part came out sometime either in the last half of October or the very beginning of November. But yeah, I don't know when the final part will be. I mean, I want to get an ending today, but I also want to be able to continue and finish off this DLC at some point. So I'm very tempted to, if I get an ending, want to make one so I can stay. So that that's what I want to do on this particular story, is I want to stay. So if I stay, then it's still an ending. It's a decision. If I can stay. And then I will start a new file to play offline, and then when I find out when the new DLC is coming out, maybe do one final stream next year. I don't know how frequently they're coming out. I mean, there's no extra achievements for it, it's still just the base game. But the story is intriguing, so yeah. Anyway, I have tens of thousands of people here on the Pilgrim Seed Sleeper, and there's tens of thousands more out in the flotilla. He leans against a railing. A lot of them are looking to me to provide some future for them and some path out of this dead end we've got into. And this very cycle, the thing we've been running away from, it just caught up with us. So these people are scared, Sleeper, and they're looking for me to reassurance. And then on the same cycle, someone tells me they see you on board. A Sleeper, the same Sleeper they reckon, that wanted so strongly to send a ship past the cordon to see us. Sol scratches at his beard. So the first thing I want to do is to thank you for that, for your interest. He pauses. But the second thing I wanted to do is find out what you want from us. Sol's suit hisses and creaks. I think that's fair, don't you? Sol takes a deep breath. So what is it? Tell me about the flux. Someone at a terminal calls out to Sol and he shouts some orders back. He turns to you. Apologies. He smiles that half smile. I'll tell you what, Sleeper, let's you and me make a deal. You want information, I understand that, but I have a list that needs longer than the rim of the eye itself. He grimaces. So you do some things for me and we can talk about what's been happening in the system, and I'll answer all your questions and some. I may be the captain of the Pilgrim Seed, and she's certainly the biggest ship in this flotilla, but I'm not the only captain here. We have ships from each of the moons, Ember's Hearth, just like us, but plenty more from Ember's Song and even Ember's Step. The moons have been at each other's throats, Sleeper, what with the pressure, the flux, the bad blood from the orgies. Sol leads in. We aren't exactly all in alignment. What I need is a wee to stop things escalating, for the crews on these ships and their captains to feel happy and comfortable enough to forget old rivalries and past crimes. He flinches at something. Those from Ember's Step, well, they've always been proud, but that pride seems to be a barrier to compromise right now. The last set of supplies I sent their way, they refused. Meanwhile, I got a supply shuttle at the docking access at the Emma Song ships to gather at, but they'd taken far too many cycles to unload. Maybe if you're heading that way, you can look in on them. I'm no politician, Sleeper, but if I don't... Sol stops. He leans back and flexes, his suit screeching. He groans a little, and you see the weight of the flotilla sitting on his shoulders, the suit the only thing keeping him vertical beneath all that pressure. Look for yourself, if you go, meet the other Sleeper, see what they need, keep them aligned. He speaks through the pain, his voice clips. Are you okay? Not really, but as long as this thing holds, he grimaces. I hope. Sol grits his teeth. You are what you appear to be, Sleeper. He smiles his half smile despite the pain. Because I'm not sure I can take any more bad news. Plus, there's plenty to be done here on the Pilgrim Seed too. If you have a moment to pitch in, there's never enough around here. That's something I've learnt the hard way. Sol settles on his cane, the pain visibly receding. Alright, I've got 1,000 things to attend to now, Sleeper, so you'll have to find your own way out. And with that, Sol sits at his terminal with slow and careful movements. You head back down the freight elevator, and as you do, you see again the layers and layers of chaotic life this vessel and all the vessels of the flotilla hold. Excellent. Okay, so what can we do? Pilgrim Seed support. Need to figure out what I need an intuit on that one. And then we've got seed supply. Ah, Matsuk. We have some Matsuks. Okay. Food's an issue. Okay, so we've got Song, Step and Hearth. Stability in the flotilla means relieving the pressure on the refugees from the 3 moons of Ember. So we've got 3 things to do, so that's 3 sections. Hearth survival, whether actually got supplies through the cordon or not. Pilgrim Seed and the Hearth refugees on desperately need help. So we can just give them mushroom caps. Ooh, that gives us +2 survival. Excellent. Didn't read what it said. You hand over them to those working the canteen. They're very grateful. We had 2, so we may as well use them. Okay, and then we've got Pilgrim Seed support. Right. Aha! Aki And there's a docking access. Okay, so we've got unload supplies. Unfinished business. The more you offload supplies, the more intention your effort seems to be gaining. I don't know whether that's good or bad. We've got plus on unwelcome aid, but that says unfinished business, so that's unsure where that goes. Okay, and there's 6 for that. We have Ember's Step. Yeah, I don't know where the unwelcome aid is. Maybe that's a typo. And then we've got several cycles still on the progress on that. So we should see what Aki has to say. Aki, interestingly enough, is one of the characters in Gossip Girl 2021. The new season of the new reboot of Gossip Girl. The character's Aki and he has pink hair and is kind of awesome. Ugh. Cold. Okay. So I'm going to do this reading section and then I'm going to have a quick break and make some hot tea. Because I keep forgetting to hydrate and cold tea is not so much fun when it's actually cold. Ow. I really need to remember to moisturize my hands. As much as I love the cold, my skin does not. The flotilla ship. It's a strange sight given your time spent in the Greenway to see a greenhouse choked in red dust. Piles up along edges, gathers in curving waves, and is carried by some unseen wind to whirl in front of the glass ceiling. It's a desert in miniature, a captured landscape of iron-rich sediment and unseen life. Beautiful, isn't it? The remark comes from another figure standing at the viewing window, so quietly that you hadn't noticed them. Did they just arrive, or were they here before you were? Their cloth-swaddled form reveals a little. It is. They say nothing. You catch a glimpse of a pale face among thick material, dark eyes glittering in the red reflected light. They turn to you as the dust swirls. Aki. They smile a tight smile. You are not from the flotilla, am I right? Not from anywhere. Everyone is from somewhere, whether they wish to be or not. The red dust glitters in her eyes, whether it is a good place to be from or not. Aki gathers her cloak around her shoulders against the cold. What brings you to the wings long in shadow? Long shadow? The ship. Aki looks at you curiously. Do you often wander around ships you don't know the name of? You're a strange one. Aki raises an eyebrow. I don't know whether to report you or send you back from whence you came. She smiles to herself, which is nowhere at all. You glance around the empty corridor, suddenly aware of how quiet it is on the ship. Unlike the other ships you've been on the flotilla, there's a silent order to the wind's long shadow, and in this moment, it feels unsettling. Where is everyone? Aki waves a hand. Asleep, mostly. It's night on Step, and so it is night here. She rubs her shoulders, at least for those of us who can sleep. Step? Aki turns away, irritated, eager to change the subject. You hear a creak as a set of shutters slowly begin to close across the glass ceiling of the greenhouse. As you watch, you feel the dissonance this place has with that word. There is nothing green in here. Dust house, perhaps. It takes many systems to preserve this landscape, Aki begins, to simulate the wind, cycle the dust, layer the sand and dirt beneath. You watch the dirt swirling, systems that are failing. The flux event. Aki glances at you for sign of recognition at the term. It's eroding our ability to keep this place alive, to keep these traces of Step alive. She smiles to herself. Which is ironic, because when we left Step, the flux had eroded our ability to survive on the moon. Now the situation is reversed. Away from the moon, its ecosystems are as fragile as we were living upon it. Something catches your eye as the shutters darken the dust house. The winds picking away at the dunes begin to reveal something. A web, a network of thick branching forms, and then they close completely and you see nothing in the dark. Soft blue lights flicker on in the corridor, uplighting Aki in cold cyan. You have piqued my curiosity, but I'm so tired, Aki shivers. If you don't have a purpose here on this ship, I recommend finding one. Otherwise, I'm afraid we'll need to leave. Make yourself useful, and perhaps we will get another chance to talk. She turns. I would like that. With that, Aki pads away along the corridor. You stand for a moment in front of the dark dust houses, trying to imagine the network of roots into the sand and dust, and then trying to imagine the moon that once housed them. Okay. What can we do on here? Systems repair. We can make ourselves useful. Excellent, we can do that. They won't let you in the dust houses, but there's plenty of supporting systems. Okay, the only problem is that I have a 2. And none of these are engineer. Which is annoying. I have no engineering actions, and that would give me the scrap. Though I'm fine for now. So we've got 1 until the seed goes. We've got 2 until my mushrooms. 2, I think, until the new bliss thing. And possibly 2 until my mushroom guy finishes his story. Right, so we're going to just use our remaining die here to get a couple of energy because we're out. There's no data spots as yet. So yes, hopefully everyone's weekend is going okay. It is Saturday. No, it's Sunday. Shit, it's Sunday. God damn it, I thought it was Saturday. It's not Saturday because this is the second day of the weekend. The weekend is just not long enough. Okay, so they're 1 away from going, and then we got to wait like 6 cycles. Yeah, I know. Ooh, okay, so okay, fine. Haggle, you had your chance. They won't be negotiating. So, yeah, we could buy a ship mine fragment and get a ship mined, but, you know. I don't have a problem with Monday. I just, you know, the weekend needs to be longer. Okay, so if we need a ship mine fragment, that's fine. We don't really now, and I'd rather use the scrap rather than that. Let's just feed my cax. I forgot if I fed it already. The cycle. Okay. Mushroom person will refresh my energy. Emphasis preparing the matsuit caps. He cleans them carefully with a damp cloth before shaving the stalks as if he were sharpening a pencil. His knife slides through them, revealing the bright white of the flesh within. These are very good, sleeper, very good. He says without looking up. I bartered with Minji for some kelp too, so we can brew the dashi. You know Minji? Emphys looks up from cutting with a smile. Everyone knows Minji. Emphys slides the sliced matsuki mushrooms to one side and takes out a closed pan. He opens the lid and you see the green wafer of kelp sitting in the bath of water. Been soaking it since last cycle, Emphys explains. Should be good to warm now. He places the pan over the burner and turns it on low. We have some time now. He wipes his hands clean and throws the cloth over his shoulder. However, there's one difference this cycle. He smiles. You have been the one providing the ingredients, so it's my time. My turn to provide a story. Okay? Good, the story is important to me. He gestures you both sit on the folding stools behind the store. You see these? Emphys runs her hands over his forearm, tracing the circular scars that mark them like the perfect bite marks. Oh yeah, I was going... Okay, after I finish this story, then I'll have a break. I need to stir my casserole and I need to make some hot tea. Yep, see, I already forgot, like, literally 3 seconds after saying it. You see these? Emphys runs a hand over its forearm, tracing the circular scars that mark them like the perfect bite marks. Conway calls it an anchored interface rig, a mechanical control device for piloting a heavy-duty extraction suit in low-G industrial operations. We called it a bone suit. He points to a pattern of larger circles on his shoulder. They drill in and anchor it here, then all the way down the arm. Taps each scar in the way. It maps mechanical movements of the suit exactly. One-to-one mechanical replication. You swing your arm, a 2-ton arm swings as well. Ah! You should have seen the recruitment. We had strong people in even stronger suits tearing through stone and scrap. Superheroes. After my graduating year, signed up from company school to company shuttle. Conway from birth to death. He stares off into the distance for a moment, fighting with the memories. But the bone suits weren't good. The rate of failures was high, and failures meant arms torn off, anchors torn out, broken bones, bad stuff. So after a while, Conway discontinued them. No longer competitive, they said. He checks the broth, turning down the heat and adding the mushrooms. So there were hundreds of us with surgical operations for suits that didn't work. They sent us home back to that company colony that spat us out, to be cleaners, drivers, cooks. They gave us drugs for the pain and told us to make something of ourselves. When I deserted, bribing some passing spaces to take me into orbit, there were only me and a couple of others left. The rest just faded away. Arthritis, osteoporosis, they folded in on themselves like paper lanterns. That was my generation. The anchor points still ache, still burn. He touches the scars, but what burns worth is the betrayal. I've been on the eye a long time now, but that will never fade. Not that, and not the faces of my friends. Emphas reaches over and sprinkles a handful of leaves in the broth. It's ready. Oops. I'm going to say thank you rather than sorry. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. I will not let their story die, and as long as I'm telling it, it will remain. Emphas pours the broth into a double-wall metal bowl and hands it to you. The heat radiates through your hands, and the smell drifts up, rich and sharp like a pine forest after the rain. You drink the broth slowly, chewing the matsuki and thinking. Emphas busies himself with cleaning pans and bowl, setting the cup back up for another day. He quietly comes to sit with you while you finish your meal. Neither of you speak, preferring instead to let the story linger in the air a little longer. It's not that there's nothing to say, it's that sometimes in the moments after something, speaking breaks the spell. So you're both idle, eager to be in each other's company. Emphas is taking longer over his cleaning, his packing, and you savouring the final dregs of broth. So when you finally finish and hand him the bowl, you feel the spell break and the story leaves you both. As you leave, you know that both of you are somehow a little more empty and a little more full than before. Yay! Story Eater! Oh my god, I have a book called The Book Eaters, which I'm looking forward to reading at Christmas. I traded stories for mushrooms. No, I traded mushrooms for stories, and stories for mushrooms. And now we just have to order fungus. But it's only 12, so, you know, and we got a full thing. So, enter the greenway, we're still growing the seeds. Flotilla supports. And helpless. Yeah, we need to check on those. But now we have a point available, but we don't have anywhere to spend it because, yeah. So, we finished that. That'll be going away soon. We don't care. Let's just... No, Bliss, they'll come and get us when there's a Bliss thing. So let's do our mushroom story. No, not our mushroom story, our seed story. Riku has something in her hands when you enter the lab. Looks like a knotted twist of woody stems, a ring about the circumference of a human head, consisting of a single stalk at one end and a branched woven network at the other. As you approach, she holds it up. In the lights of the lab, it looks like... a crown! Rico finishes your thought. She smiles and shakes her head in disbelief. Is that what grew? It is. I came to the plant this morning, and this loop was all that there was. She points to a lump on the edge of the ring. The seed grew right back into itself, twisted it up out of the soil. That being you encountered in the cloud, as you call it, was it wearing one of these? She eyes you suspiciously. Still unsure if she was somehow embroiled in an overlong prank. Oh? She sighs. I suppose that would have been too easy. She smiles to herself. A root crown. She places the object on the bench and shuffles to her analysis terminal, her face lit by its amber light in the dim corner of the lab. Well, it isn't exactly a plant, not from what I can tell. She gives you a serious look. No leaves, no chloroplast, just a series of filaments encased in cellulose walls. Filaments? See, that's why I like you, Sleeper. You are so good at spotting the unusual details. She beckons you over. Look at this. You see a cross-section scan of the crown. Its layers of plant-like structure on full view until you reach the centre. There, instead of xylem and phloem for transporting nutrients, something branched and woven glints. Are those wires? She laughs. I'm not sure whether to say yes or no here. Those are not wires like those in an electrical system, no, but they are filaments of a conductive material, so yes. She leans close to the screen. But you see those branches? They remind me of dendrites, of neurons. She rubs her eyes, which is frankly ridiculous. You look back at the crown on the table as Rico fusses over the scans, and you suddenly realise what it reminds you of. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. Then you remember the crown they fitted you with, the branching structure of wires and pads. No, crown, they called it an interface. The tool of your emulation, your transference from neurons to electrons, an interface. That is your gift from the gardener. You turn back to Rico. It's an interface. Riko looks at you puzzled. Something clicks in her mind. Perhaps something she heard in the sleeper she had helped all those cycles ago. She starts talking, partly to you, partly to herself. If the club heads were made for you, then this too could be made for you, for your frame. She shuffles over quickly to the interface, a word that has struck to the strange branched object quickly in your mind. You are right, that entity. It is the entity I've been looking for. She shuffles quickly back to the crown. They are the entity which is controlling the Greenway, which is maintaining it, supporting it, and been guiding it for all those decades. She stops to catch her breath. They want to talk to you. Riko leads you to the seat. I'll be here, sleeper. If something happens, you wish me to remove the crown, the interface, just squeeze. She grips your hand tightly. Right, I said after the mushroom guy, and I started the seed thing. So, we are going to have a quick break because I need to get hot tea, I need to stir my casserole, I need to stretch. So, we'll have a short break, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Right, and Vic. Stew is stirred. Tea is brewed. And we're ready to resume story time and find out what this seed is. Squeeze. Right, okay. You meet her eyes clouded with age, but bright with a thrill of new discoveries. And she places the interface on your head and everything blinks out. Back in the river, back into the dark flow, but something's different now. You are no longer pushed, no longer blocked and buffeted by the storm. Instead it flows around you. You move and it parts, letting you pass. Something else resists, but it gives easily enough. Look back and see your body. You've left it behind. Somewhere Rico's voice is talking to you, asking you questions. As excited, eager, desperate to know what lies on the other side, what the entity has to say to you. You realise how long she's waited for this moment, for the moment of meeting between the inhabitants of the Greenway and its protector, and yet she's still on the outside. You shake off the sadness. You will be her eyes. Then you see the figure. The gardener out in the storm, planting. It takes less than a moment to reach them. You've never felt so free. This is how Navigator must have felt, released from their prison. This, you think, is what it feels like to be in the place you were built to inhabit. Gardner doesn't turn at your approach. They go on planting, but their voice whispers in the waters like a sharply rising current. You grew the gift. Their speech hisses around you. Good. I am glad. I wanted to meet you. Then we are the same, both eager shoots seeking one another. How does it feel to be free of your seed? They stoop to plant again. Good. That is good. They press a seed into the limy depths. There was some disagreement, continues Gardner, as if you were picking up on a long-held conversation. With the others, they felt you were a danger, but they were always cautious. Especially the fungi. They like old loam. Known knowns, wide and stable networks. The fungi were cautious? Mostly, yes. There were many among their number who favour short growth cycles, thick nutrient veins, and sudden shifts. He gestures out into the storm, and though you cannot see them, you feel presences all around, sensing this audience with great interest. After all, they understood that it was I who made them their crowns, and without them they would not have joined the chorus. So they see that it is only fair that you get your chance to join too. Join? Yes, become part of this. Gardner stoops again. We are millions, and we grow. I hope you understand. I am unused to speaking to your kind. It's been many cycles since my last conversation. I think it was with the Chief Executive Trallick himself. You look around and you see it. Every growing thing, every non-human being in the Greenway is here. They are networked, connected, branched, and linked by this strange being, this artifact of the old station. This impossible dream of a senile farm administration AI, a living network. You could dissolve here, you realize, free of that decaying body. You wouldn't need to be a person. Why would you, among all these other minds? You turn away from Gardner for a moment and look back at your body. A tiny hairline thread connects it to you. You hear Rico's voice again, still asking, still checking in. Are you okay, Sleeper? What are they saying, Sleeper? Are you still there, Sleeper? Something in you sighs a long sigh. A sigh that speaks of an exhaustion beyond tiredness, an exhaustion rooted deep inside of you. It stems from the effort of answering questions, of answering problems, of getting up and breathing each cycle. But something else resists the sigh, a yearning, a sense of distance, a desire to squeeze that hand that holds you for its warmth, its blood, its complexity, to make a gesture that says, I'm still here, I'm still alive, I'm with you. The two ideas spin within you, making you nauseous. If you break that thread, you'll be free to dissolve here, to grow strange and beautiful among a million others. If you follow it, if you squeeze Rico's hand, you will wake up back in that dying body, with all the pain and warmth that entails. Whoa, okay. A choice. An ending? An ending, but I can continue. Just seeing what is best option-wise. I think I can get both if there's a good autosave, so I'm just having a quick look. Because then, technically, if we just finish the DLC, we have gotten endings, and this will be the last stream until we get the third DLC. Right. It's a true game ending if I choose to break the thread. And then I can also do the other one. Okay, so we're going to break the thread first. Because we can get 2 endings, and still, with warmth and with the following the thread back, we get to continue with the DLC, and then that'll finish today. Right, okay. You reach down and pinch the thread. The finality of this moment descends on you. Break it. You pluck the thread like a string. It snaps. Nothing changes. You stand at a point of stillness. No, you don't stand. You have no legs, no body. You are a point of stillness, a point in the flow. Your mind fizzes. 1,000 new shoots break through the soil. They entwine with you, embrace you. So what did we do today? I think we did the mushroom thing, which we can redo. And because we've got all our dice, so we haven't done anything else. I think we did the mushroom thing and then came through here and it said seed, so we won't have to like replay much if we go back to the beginning of the day. Your mind fizzes. 1,000 new shoots break through the soil. They entwine with you, embrace you. Some part of you decays while something else feeds from that decay. The spores of your new thoughts float away in shifting clouds and settle in new soil. And you see gardener out there still planting, and they stop like an old man resting in the fields, and they turn and face you. And you join the chorus, and together you sing the songs of growing things. Bloop bloop, grow vast and strong. Accepted the offer, broke the thread, and joined to the chorus. It's because the autosave said, like, previously saved 217 whatever ago, so what it says in the achievement description, in the achievement solutions, which I was just having a quick look at, is that if you pick this one first, then it puts you back at the beginning of the day. If you pick the other one first, then you... Hey, Suzanne Wallace! I know her. She used to be ID at Xbox. And then moved to Fellow Traveller. And I've been following Fellow Traveller, and they have done some awesome stuff. They've published some awesome things. So yeah. So basically, it seems like there are a couple of these pairs of achievements where you can pick one or the other. And if you pick one that lets you leave the station, or leave your body, then it resets you back to the beginning of the day when you hit continue. And if you select one that stays at the station, then it saves at the end of that thing. So you can, if you want to do both at the same time in the same playthrough, you need to do them in the leave stay order. So we've left, though technically that's not my true ending. It is a true ending, but it's not my true ending because I want to stay on the station. So we are going to continue. Should put us back at the beginning of the day. I don't know whether we'll get the same dice. Well, whether we've got the same dice or not, we've got good dice. Right, salvaged one. So the last time we played it, that thing wasn't refreshing properly, so I'm going into it to make sure they refresh properly. Ah, no, it's saved after the mushroom thing, because we've got full energy. Okay, cool. So, in fact, it's basically play this quest again. I'm not going to read it again. I'm going to try and select the same things. and then choose to go back. Which is the choice that I would make. That is an ending. Okay, so now we are going to follow the thread. Your eyes track the thread across the whirling dark back to your body. This choice, you realise, will not be presented again. I don't want to be part of this ship. I want to stay and help everybody. Follow it. You don't dare look back at Gardner. You don't dare risk it. Instead, you follow the thread, delicately, carefully, like a diver following their lifeline back to the surface. The river whirls around you, but it doesn't pull. It isn't jealous. Neither does it understand. It is, after all, just a river. It isn't a person, a flesh and blood person with wants, with desires, with the capacity and the hiccups for love and hate. It doesn't understand you when you don't understand it. So you don't focus on it. You don't think about it, on what it feels like, such a long journey back through the dark. You set your mind on eyes instead, on hands, things you can focus onto, hold onto. Then after an age of crossing, you are there, settling back into the chair, into a body in a chair, and the overwhelming sensations that come with being a living thing, with a rich and detailed sensorium. For a moment you feel like you've made a terrible mistake. Who would choose this weight, this anxiety, this deep well at the centre of existence? But then you feel it. Rico's hand gripped hard around yours, trembling a little, sweating a little. Rico's hand with its brittle bones and crumpled skin. Rico's hand. In that moment you understand why you made this choice, and then you squeeze Rico's hand, and you wake up. And we get our second end. Warmth and light. Turned away and follow the thread back home. I don't think we need to watch the credits again. There you go. 2 endings. So we're just gonna do what we can with the DLC. Should be finishable. There we go. Where? Okay, I didn't expect that to zoom in. Sleeper. Rico's voice comes wavering through the dark. Are you still with me? You sit up, the lamp a bright green glare that fades as you gather yourself. I'm here. Rico smiles. Good. She squeezes your hand. I thought you'd left me for a moment. What? She pauses. Who? She smiles. Tell me about it. Tell me everything. Tell her the truth. You tell Rico everything. You tell her about the gardener, that strange farm administrator AI that's grown to be so much more, about the chorus, that impossible configuration of network plants, and finally, about the choice the gardener offered you. She listens attentively, but her responses are hard to read, and you wonder if she might have made a different decision had she been in your place. Thank you, Sleeper, for telling me. I know it isn't easy to see such things. People so often do not wish to hear strange truths. She looks away. Thank you for returning to me, though I know you had your own reasons. She squeezes your hand reassuringly. Something passes between you then, a kind of shared sadness for the impossible choice, the choice to escape your body or to stay and suffer. Her smile is warm and generous, and whatever the wisdom of your choice, you are glad to feel welcome in this moment, in this place. Then suddenly she stands and walks a little away, as if trying to escape an unpleasant thought. You worry that she knows all too well what it takes to make a choice like you did. So, Sleeper, Rico sighs, do you plan to stay in the commune with us? I have other things to do. Rico raises an eyebrow. Well, be careful at least. We'll miss you here. She pauses. I will miss you. Rico crosses over to you and takes one of your hands in both of hers. Just make sure to think of us out here. Hypha needs new blood if it wants to survive, and she squeezes. You are a good friend. Look after yourself, Rico. And you, Sleeper. Well, don't let me keep you. Rico waves you away and limps back to her terminal. As she does, you notice the crown in her hand, and she places it on the bench with great care. You can't help but feel a little curious about what she intends to do with it. Then you are out, breathing the air of the greenway, fresh as a spring morning. The dappled light makes a patchwork of the greening landscape, and you walk into it, sensing the movements of the gardener's chorus all around. I mean, if she's old and potentially dying, there's always a good chance that she'll take the crown on to see if she can join the chorus. You know. You are glad to be here in this strange and beautiful place a little longer. There we go. We made our decision. We can still continue exchanging mushrooms, which is good because otherwise we will die. But As we've done... So we've got to help Bliss. We've not completed her business thing yet. We are currently helping the flotilla. Because Thingy's still researching. So... we still have several cycles, so we've got time to help the Pilgrim's speed. We don't have any more Matsuks. So... though we will pick up mushrooms when we will harvest the mushrooms. We've got girolles. I think we can sell those or cook them up. So, yeah. What is best to do first? Make yourself useful there. There's fewer things. That has unfinished business. And also, as it said, unwelcome aid. I don't know whether... I mean, I'm going to use a 5, because that'll give us a 6. Someone comes to help you unload for a while, making the work go quicker. When you ask their name, they ignore you. What's going on? Okay, so unwelcome aid is actually unfinished business. Okay, that was weird. So that's just a typo in the quest name. That's fine. Okay. So, yeah. But I'm not going to risk. I'm going to do this as efficiently as I can. So as this is a +2 and I've got some 4s, to make myself useful. Notice a bug in the wind cycling system and managed to fix it. Aki gives you a knowing look. Seems like you're proving yourself. I'm assuming I just got a +2 because I was reading the thing and forgot to look. Yeah, make yourself useful. Oh, and I got cryo as well. Why not? Okay, so we've done 2 of them. Yeah, so we've still got plenty of cycles. I feel like we'll have to help Briar at some point. Intuit is a safe action. I feel like it's just use the dice. And it'll give us between 1 and 3. Mutual, we got 2. You're joining with a team of souls who are going floor to floor offering assistance. The time goes quickly and the work well. So this is a useful, because there's no bad actions to that. And it seems a good idea to use our dice up on this. We've got full energy, pretty much full condition. And our mushrooms can't be harvested yet. So, you spend your time pulled in all directions. Negative outcome. And finish only 1 or 2 tasks. The scale of the work is overwhelming. But hey, we use the dice and we're, you know, over a quarter through there. So, 6 cycles for that. We can harvest mushrooms in 1, depending on how we want to use, because mushrooms are obviously useful for then submitting, so it's not wasting any time. And let's just go and check on Bliss's thing. I feel like I'm getting a bit of a sore throat. Next action will also have Bliss's thing. But I don't know if there's a time limit on that. We can go and have a look at it. Yeah, so the only other thing is obviously the ship. We babysat the kid so that the dad could get a ticket. That quest line is finished. At this point, we're basically helping Bliss and doing the, because we're ignoring the ship. We don't want to leave, basically. So, we're helping Bliss, and we are, we only have 1 upgrade point. So yeah, I know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to finish that thought. Feeding my cats, and ending the cycle. Hopefully we get good dice, so we get better flotilla support for Sol, but hey. 5s and 6s. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Oh, okay. There we go. Sleeper! Moritz is sliding against the collar wall. It's time. He looks away. Big job just came in. Grand finale. You up for it? I'm ready. Alright then, we're in business. He pushed away from the wall. This has to work, Sleeper. Has to. He looks down. If it doesn't, are we in trouble? The bee, you mean? He shrugs. We were already in trouble before you got here. The work so far hasn't been enough. Look, Bliss has had a rough time of it. I thought you of all people would understand that. He runs his hand through his hair. Sorry, didn't mean to be. He smiles. Bliss is a good one. She gave me a chance. I owe her. He straightens up. I know you have your own things going on, Sleeper. We all do, but the Bay needs someone. Bliss needs someone. Hell, I need someone to keep Bliss from spinning out completely. He scratches the side of his head. Otherwise, there's not much I can do. He shakes his head, and I would hate not to pay back my debts. Moritz stretches. I gotta get back. He nods and walks away. I'm out. See you up there. Okay. Just checking that they are progressing. We don't need ship mines. We may need a ship mine in the DLC, but for now, we need salvage. I'll use the pills if we need to. Got 3 dice to get good mushrooms, which would give us help. Because Girol caps aren't going to do us any good. We've got enough spores to repopulate it. Yeah, clubhouse. And what's it? Let's just do it. We don't have to do it next time. But we've got enough. Okay, and then we repopulate with spores. We've got enough to seed it again. And then we'll make a decision next time whether we harvest it then and there or whether we leave it for another time. And we've got the lab. We have clubhouse. We'll synthesize another one of these. And we've got 4 of these, so, you know. It's worth it for that. This one, we may as well add another. That. Yes, I mean, okay, so yeah, I don't know whether that's going to be good or not, so we might do the dust houses first. Peak is making progress. I'm not going to chance it on the 3 there. I'll put the 3 into this because that's better. Neutral, cool. Yeah. I'm happy with that. We've got enough energy. We can always get some mushrooms. I want to stay in my house. I know I don't need to stay in my house. But I feed my cat. Makes me happy. And we use stabilizer because we're out of scrap. It's a bit of a waste, but it's either that or we don't have 5 dice next turn. And that's much better for me. Oh, I forgot to check on Bliss. Oops. Oops, there is a time on it. Oops. Okay. Ooh, we've got engineer. We'll get some things. Right, okay. Okay. Probably would have been better doing that. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. So, selected window for the Starwood Vector's maiden voyage is closing. This is going to be a tight one. Okay. Experimental sail failed. Now is massive solar sails need to be repaired. Okay, so we've got a repeatable action. And we've got 2 repeatable actions. Exhausting task. Patching solar sails means maintaining a laser focus for long periods of time. Time's something you don't have. We also have spurs need resetting and the system rebooting. If you're careful, you can safely untangle the sails. while you do that. Okay, that one, greater success. That one could be problematic. That one, you need a positive, basically. Otherwise, you're screwed. But you get 3. There's a lot of things to do, and we should have checked that cycle where we had, like, lots of... Because these would have been enough to harvest mushrooms. But I can't go back. It's fine. It's fine. So, that's a guaranteed +3. Positive, +3. You delicately spin the spout, unwinding sailcloth without tearing. Bliss thumps you on the arm. She's impressed. Okay. I don't know how many it needs to spin. Right, okay. I just need energy. But I kind of want to go and get mushrooms to get energy. Wrong one. Because it's 12 and it gives me 3. Okay. Because I'd rather sacrifice energy on a potential bad roll. So that gives me a 5, which is pretty good. Neutral. Eesh. Plus rigged and ready, minus energy. Progress is hard and slow. By the end, you're exhausted, but you're also getting there piece by piece because it's more dangerous. It's fine. We'll try it again. Positive. +2. You enter a flow state of scanning and fixing, and Bliss does the same. You can do this. You can both do this. You know it. Okay, we're a quarter done. We've got enough cycles. Okay, so I'm going to go and spend the last 2 dice on fixing Sol's ship. It's not as efficient, but it's definitely better than nothing. And then we just need to balance the dice. Neutral? Yeah. Neutral. Excellent. Oh, right. So we're only 3 off the hearth survival. Okay, cool. We did our best. Let's just end the cycle here. Let's drink my warm tea while we're at it. Okay. All right. I now need to split it, really, between the 2 things. Okay. Let me just double check. That's a +2. That's a +1, but I kind of want to leave that one to last because that worries me. And that one I've got 3 segments left. And we've still got 2 cycles before the progress, so let's go. Buy some mushrooms. While we're down here, we don't need to worry about saving credits for anything at this particular point in time. 1 more before we can buy scrap. Scrap is useful. Yeah, Bliss's one has a time limit. Of course it has a time limit. The last one didn't have a time limit. This one has a time limit. Okay, so we want +3 with our... And we can use the 4s and then we can make a decision. Let's use a 4 out of 6. It doesn't really matter at this point. You delicately spin. We've got a +3. Okay, let's use a 6. +3. And we got some cryo. Okay, so we're halfway without being halfway So let's go back to souls. We're just going to try and balance, basically. Let's go finish off the dust one. Should give us +2. Yep, and then again, +2. Make yourself useful. Okay, we've made ourselves useful. There's probably going to be more, but anyway, Aki. I see you've been contributing. Aki stands next to you at the dust house window. I was unsure on what to expect when we joined the flotilla on its voyage to the Eye, but after the journey across the system, then the quarantine, and then the flux reaching all the way out here too. Aki stops herself. Thank you. She bows a little. The other ships have only been in sending us supplies, but we grow all we need. She gestures at the dust house. What the dust houses need, that is a problem that concerns us. She smiles and turns to you. Should we go inside? I'd love to. Aki smiles. Come. She taps away at a panel by the window. It seems only fair that after your help with the support systems, you get to see what it is that you are maintaining. Aki leads you to an opening beside the window. You pass through a dark changing room. You notice Aki is sliding on an oxygen mask and visor. She looks at the swirling dust inside. Inside, it's just like Ember's step. Thin atmosphere, constant dust storms, nothing that will bother you. She passes you a mask. The dust isn't exactly pleasant to inhale, however, so take this. You hold it to your face. She leads you through a short decontamination tunnel with its fizzing panels of purifying lights and then through into the dust house. Immediately the wind and heat hits you. You feel the rough waves of dust scattering across your face and peer through the amber murk. Your feet slide on shifting piles of sand. Welcome to Step, or an emulation of it at least. Aki's voice sounds distant and echoey. Terraforming process only managed to provide a limited atmosphere around the moon, one which is slowly escaping. It's been like that since I was born, so I got used to the idea. You catch her bright eyes through the amber dust. So did everyone else that lives there. You feel something hard beneath your feet, beneath the sand like a coil of rope. What's under the sand? This is steppe silk. It's one of the plants we established on Steppe. She kicks away some red sand. Like any bast fibre, it can be retted and woven into clothes. I'm wearing some made from it myself. It's one of the many species adapted to steppe since the Solheim collapse, that's why it must be preserved. She stares out into the swirling dust. It is as much a refugee as we are, and the dust house holds hundreds of other species. You look at the pale, unassuming root threaded thickly through the sand. Aki watches you silently. Had enough? It'd be easier to speak outside. Aki leads you back out through the decontamination tunnel, which blasts the dust from both of you with a burst of metallic-tasting air, and into the changing room. Aki hangs up both the masks, patiently awaiting your questions. What happened on Ember's step? Aki pauses, pulling her shawl around her. She looks small and pale inside its layers. Steppe was already a doomed world, she sniffs. When Solheim gave the terraforming contract to Sibel, they believed they could build an atmosphere, but the moon's erratic orbit made it impossible to maintain. By the time the Solheim collapsed, the atmosphere was already slowly fading, and Sibel's attention was on Ember's hearth. After the collapse, Sibel fell too. Its researchers scattered across the moons, and any central organization lost. Since then, my parents' generation worked tirelessly to survive, to adapt what we had to the failing moon, the steppe silk, the other adapted species, a life's work of the steppe colonies. So when the flux started to collapse our computer systems, corrode and destroy our life support, our water supply, our agriculture, we had to leave. Aki sits heavily on a nearby bench. Soon the only traces of steppe will be on this ship. Aki begins to cry quietly. You are unsure what to do. Where did the flux come from? Aki doesn't respond, but continues sobbing. You understand why the ship, why the refugees from steppe are so different. Their world was already dying when the flux arrived. Ember Steppe is a terraformed moon, a partial atmosphere, established colonies, agriculture, and yet when the flux event started, its people had to leave. You think of the Eye and the delicate web of decaying systems it rests upon. What hope does a ruined station have against a wave that corrupts, corrodes, and collapses? Aki interrupts your thoughts, rubbing her eyes. Not everyone left. There wasn't room to take all the people and fill the dust houses. My parents, their friends, and many others stayed. She sniffs. We carry the steppe for them. Perhaps there's hope. We learn not to talk of hope on a dying world. There is meaning for them and any future they can build with the time they have. She stands up. I wanted you to understand the importance of these dust houses, of what they contain. She leads you back out into the corridor. If the flux events continue to reach out to the eye, we need to build protections to ensure their safety. Aki meets your eye. I can help. Aki smiles weakly. I knew it. You will be welcome on the wind's long shadow, whatever you wish. These dust houses are already decaying. I've seen it. She stares into the dust. We had thought that they would last longer, but that last flux event. Help us. Aki looks at you. Please, I will. When you are ready, we'll begin the preparations for reinforcing the dust houses. We need to be ready for the next flux event. Aki's eyes shine with the last of her tears. She takes a breath. I will see you soon. Aki drifts down the corridor, leaving you alone once more at the viewing window, watching the ragged, delicate traces of the moon known as Ember's Step. Okay, now we need to reinforce. So we've got shielding, engineer, excellent. Preservation, but could be an energy hit. Devise upgrades that will protect the dust houses. She needs to implement them. There's also the care thing, improving the dust houses. You can also care for the plants to make them more resilient. Ooh, that gives more if we have good dice. Preservation. If the dust houses are to preserve their closed biomes, they will need shielding against the flux and protecting from their slow decay. Okay, so, okay, there is actually more than I thought there was going to be here. There doesn't seem to be a time limit yet. But let's just use my one. We got a negative, which is still a plus, so that's fine. So, pray for good dice so that we can help Bliss and the flotilla. I'm not trying to juggle too many things, honest. But hey, technically we got an ending, so, you know. And we're still good at a cycle against stabilizer. Yeah, those are not good die. Not really. They're enough for a +2. You know, we've got enough. We'll use the 4s here. Because this is definitely timed in a bad way. So, I think that's sufficient to keep that up. If this was the only thing we'd be doing, we'd be done with that already, but we're not. Mushrooms will be grown again, but I don't think we'll need that as much. We still got 3 pills, and we need spores to replenish it, so we'll leave that for now. It's only a +1. None does minus preservation, so let's chance of 3, which gives us a 5 there. Plus a chance of scrap. Positive, +2. Excellent. So we've made some progress. Let's put the 2 in here. Neutral! Right, we have ensured their survival. Sol found you deep in the layers of the Pilgrim Seed, working on a patch for life support vent. You hear him coming, his suit hissing as he does. I had to ask around to find you, he smiles. Seems you know the place better than me these days. Doubt it. Sol nods. I was on the work crew that built this thing, so maybe you're right. He winks. Sol holds out a hand. Stand up and let me see you. He pulls you to your feet. I don't believe we ever had a sleeper on Ember's hearth. Sol looks you up and down. You do make me wish we could have had. Could have done with a few good workers as good as you. Thank you. Sol nods. You're welcome. Seems that I owe you some answers, seeing as you've been working hard on the Pilgrim Seed these past cycles. He leans against a crate. His suit creaking. What do you want to know about? The flux? Sol sighs. That's what I imagined. He scratches at his beard. I can't say I'm an expert, but I can tell you what we witnessed on Hearth. At first we ignored it. A few farms had their automation systems blink out. Left the suits locked up. Bots reset the schedules. Nothing we hadn't seen before. But then the news came out of Pastoral that had been hit harder. The local network had gone down and no one could get it back up. It was rough for a while, but out in the farmland we were used to that. Pastoral. Capital of Hearth. Tens of thousands of souls meet at their home. It's all grimaces. Anyway, we thought the flux was a freak event until that day they got the network running again. That's when the cascade happened. System after system corrupted, data lost, and then another flux hit, and another. The bots were running in circles in the fields. People had to be cut out of lifter suits like mine. And the city, I never saw it, but I heard from the others. It's all shivers. I only got worse from there. We couldn't seem to fight it. It cuts right open. That's what I know about the flux. Some folks seem it came from the inner systems, that it may be connected to some old tech there or something, but I never heard anything more than rumours. Saul scratches their beard. Sorry I don't have better news. Saul shifts on the crate. Anything else you wanted to ask? There was something. What do you want to know about? You. Saul squints at you. You want to know about me? I'm not sure that was part of the deal I was thinking of, Sleeper. Unless you're asking about this. He raps on the metal of his suit. In case you haven't guessed, this is the only thing keeping me vertical. He adjusts his shoulder piece. It's a lifter suit made from working the fields. We had to modify it so I could walk around after the accident. And that's all I'm saying, Sleeper, because to be honest with you, I don't owe you more than that. You want to know about the flux, about Ember's Hearth? Go ahead, but don't pry into my life and I won't pry into yours. Fair enough. Saul lets the silence sit, staring hard at the floor. The suit seems to loom over him, looking more like a burden than support. With the bars around his head, and you suddenly thought to think of it as a cage. Look, I don't mean to be rude. Let's leave it there. There's too many eyes on me and this ship as it is, and I'd rather just slip into the background. Thank you very much. Saul shifts on the coat. Anything else? Oh, something. Amber's Hearth. Sure, he smiles. I mean, I spent my whole life on that rock, so I have plenty to tell you. I'll save my life story for another time, but the short of it is that Hearth is the first of Ember's moons. The biggest and most populated, which is down to the successful terraforming system Sibel set up in Solheim, own the systems. How are relations with the other moons? Saul smiles. Depends on who you've been talking to. Shouldn't mistake me for a politician, Sleeper. That's for others to do. He gives you a look. But Ember's Step was a test ground for the terraforming tech the Hearth's built on, while Ember's Song was the extraction site for the raw materials and energy we need to make it work. You can imagine that might lead to some tension. However, Saul holds up a hand, despite what people might see, Hearth was never fully stable. Saul shakes his head. It's a bit late to talk it out, but after they pulled out and Solheim left, our people discovered they'd have to keep the systems running themselves or the place was to end up as dry as Step. Hearth was good as long as the evaporators kept running, kept filling our skies with clouds. Even after the collapse, the people kept those things going, turning that subsurface ocean into the periwinkle blue sky. Saul smiles. Flux ended that though, and when they failed, the rains failed and the harvest with it. Saul pauses. And soon you have a city without a way to feed itself. Saul shudders. That's when we, some of us, made the decision to set out on this place. He gestures at the pilgrim seed and look for another future. Saul shifts on the crate. I'm good for now. You sure? I'm sure. Saul stands, flexing against the suit. Takes his cane in his hand. Keep it up, Sleeper. He smiles as he leaves. You're making me think I need to start making new plans for this place. And with that, Saul leaves, and you wonder what he means. As he creaks away down the corridor, you can't help but feel there's more to him than it seems. Okay, so... Right. We have at least completed that one. Frisky and danger. Okay. Frisky. I don't want frisky, really. I could... Hey, Lady McGree. Work. But I'd rather use my dice on something. So could I potentially... use it here. There's a safe one. It at least gives me something in rigged. No, it doesn't. There's not a safe one. It's safe, but it's also, it will minus it. That is bad. Okay. Best not to do that. Hi. So... let's just go back and use the commune to get 2 foods. Oh, I haven't talked this much in one long go for a while. I've not done story time properly for ages. My jaw hurts, my throat hurts, or I'm coming down with something. Which would be really silly because I haven't been anywhere unless I've caught a cold. But I haven't been anywhere. Or seen anyone. Not since Monday anyway. And that was my mum. So I'm going to blame the fact that I haven't done a long story time for a while. It has been 2.5 hours. Right, okay. Okay. Feed my cat. Check my stabilizer, because I can't really chance not having enough dice. It's really a bit stupid. The next cycle should let me spend some things on scrap. There we go. Let's use some cryo and scrap. Yes, I got a scrap. Excellent, we can use that to repair. I got another scrap. And I got another scrap. Excellent, I got 3 scraps. I'm happy with that. Right. Okay, so those are good dice. Okay, so we want plus that. Let's use a 4. Let's not waste. Let's see how many little segments we need. Is that 2 or 3? God, the stupid thing is tiny. I mean, it literally makes no difference, except engineer would give me possibly a scrap. Is that 2 or 3? Oh, God, I just killed my mic. Elbowed my mic. It's 3. I'll use the 3 one. Okay. And we've not run out of time cycled on this. Okay, we are rigged and ready. That's it, you're done. Somehow the end is here. The atmosphere in the airlock is euphoric. You and Bliss keep grinning at each other like idiots. Exhausted, blinded, sore, and aching idiots. Sleeper, that was incredible. She punches you in the arm. I never thought we were going to make it. Those idiots tangled the whole thing up like nothing I've ever seen. We'll make a good team. Bliss smiles a winning smile. Continue. Continue. I literally said continue. Oh dear. As the lock's inner door clunks open, Moritz gives a rare whoop. He looks exhausted too, and for good reason. Moritz has been the one ferrying tools and parts back and forth on the ship. His tired smile tells you he's glad it's done. Sleeper, bless, he shakes his head. Impressive. When I saw that ship come in, I thought it was Norwegian. Why, thank you, Moritz, she winks, for believing in us. Moritz rolls his eyes. You know what I meant? Take the compliment. He showed us some of the gear that came back in with you in Bliss and heads to the racks to stow it. Bliss turns to you. I think you should be the one to do the honours. She nods to the ragged-looking console that Moritz assembles. I don't want to jinx it. She smiles, but you can see she's genuinely nervous. Don't worry. I'll stop worrying when the chits are in my hands and I'm giving them to a gimbal bartender. You glide over to the console and check the screen. It takes a second to see what you're doing through the flickering, cracked display, but after a moment you see the accounts. And there it is. Almost 1,000 cryos sat in the base transfer account. Well, Bliss calls, have we been screwed again? It's there! Yeah, because we've done 3 things. So we invested in her, in her? Yes, in her firm, because we had the credits at the time, and it seemed like a good thing to do. The first one, and also her partner basically screwed her over and taken all the money. The first one, the partner still had access to the accounts and took all the money. The second one paid us in mushrooms and kelp. This one, we actually have credits, so she can keep her alive. That's great. Bliss kicks up from the floor and spins into the bay, shouting as she does. The noise takes Moritz by surprise, and he knocks a rack of parts, scattering handfuls of metal fixings across the bay. The sight is something, glinting steel catching the work lights like glitter. Sorry, says Bliss, grinning when she comes back down. I needed that. She kicks off and joins you over at the terminal. Moritz even managed to save that produce. We made a tidy profit eventually. She laughs. Here. She loads a stack of blank chits into the terminal and transferred a chunk of the cryo to them. This is your cut. Bliss hands you the chits. Thank you for believing in this place. She looks away and smiles, even when I couldn't. When you first met me, I was on the edge of giving it up. All it would have taken was one more push, but now this place is sparking again. Work is coming in, there are funds in the account. Even Moritz has a spring in its step. We both look at him happily racking up tools. That's because of you. She punches you on the arm. He likes you. He's a good kid. Isn't bad, is he? She leans in closer. You know he came in looking to rob the place. I gave him a job instead. She laughs. Don't tell him I told you that. I just thought it might help you understand the kid. Moritz turns to look at you both. Blitz and you awkwardly wave. Maybe it's time to change the subject. Well, now. From here on, it's going to be a little easier. I'm going to look for some component contracts. Stuff that will keep us inside the bay, not out in the black. No need to risk our necks if we don't need to. You want to cash out, that's fine, but there will always be work here for you when you need it. I appreciate it. She smiles, and then, out of nowhere, Crick gives you a hug. She steps back and glances around reflexively. Take care, she says softly. You too. She turns to leave. And Sleeper? What? Don't spend all that at once, she smiles. Okay. Wow, we just got 300 credits. Well, that'll keep us in everything. And we completed an objective. So that's awesome. So we can now do an upgrade. And I hate trying to figure out how. Okay. Reroll all your dice once per cycle. I think we'll take that one. Mainly because sometimes we do get poo dice. And it's worth it. And we're trying to keep our condition up, so I'm not worried about condition breaking. Okay, so that is now saved. So there may be story off that, but if we were not doing the DLC, the last thing would be due was the Citadel Bridge. Technically, we have an ending, so I just want to finish what we can of the DLC. Probably should harvest some mushrooms. But we've got 3 scraps, so we don't need more pills right now. So I am going to... Ooh, hello. Oh! And Peak's ready. Interesting. Okay. But I also should do that and that. That one is finished. Let's see what Peak has to say, because it won't let us save without... It won't let us sleep without this. Have you heard of can channels, Sleeper? Peak asks as soon as you enter the bay, as if you were in the middle of a conversation. There are heavy circles under their eyes, and you aren't sure that they've moved since you last visited 6 cycles ago. The console they are working at seems to have grown too, shadowing their slight frame in a wealth of screens and wires. Can? You mean for transit? Yes, exactly. Peak turns to face you. Kiumani's active negation, the name of the effect used to transport trillions of tons of materials from surrogate systems to the core. You may have heard it in your physics classes. At XPR, they hammered the principles into us as kids. Can, Peak recites the definition as if in the classroom. A process of collapsing spatial causality along the Euclidean distance between 2 points by negating mass simultaneously at both ends of a geodesic curve. That sounds dangerous. Essentially, can channels allow for the near-instantaneous transport of raw material between systems. They require huge volumes of energy, of course, and decades of construction, but once a can channel is established, it opens up a system for infinite exploitation. Sounds like one of those might have malfunctioned. The backbone of surrogacy is what XPR called them. Peak shakes their head. They might not be able to send anything more complex than a rock through them. Complex machines and people are, shall we say, reconfigured by the process. Oh, who was the volunteer that tried out that? But for raw molecularly pure materials... Peak flicks a hand. Whoosh! Where's this going? Peak pauses. What I was trying to find out is whether the Helian system, this system, ever had a can channel. Can channels are vastly expensive to build to run. Not every surrogate system has one. Many use fraction drive ships to transport their materials to the nearest hub, but Sondheim, Peak smiles, Sondheim spelled no expense when they established this system. There's a can channel. Yep, Peak's eyes light up. They shut it down before the collapse. They couldn't run the sender-receiver station anymore, but it was there. Still is, as far as I can tell, closely orbiting our star. In fact... Peak grins. They've been building to this. I'm sure it's still there, because one of the issues with can channels are the massive waves of exotic energy they can produce when cycling up. The flux. Exactly. Peak's face suddenly drops. Someone is starting up the channel. Why? Peak sucks a breath. That I don't know. They start counting off information on their fingers. They need a lot of resources to do it, and they need to have people from the core systems. But there's no real large-scale extraction in the Helian system anymore, so why would you go to the trouble? Just to trigger the flux? Peak rubs their red eyes. The flux, the wave, the can effect procedures is a side effect, a problematic one, but it isn't a destructive force. If it was, the core systems would never be able to use it. So why then are colonies collapsing because of it? Why is it chewing through systems? The kind of industrial system set up to function within the range of a once active can channel. Peak is getting frustrated. The moons of Ember have been terraforming since before the collapse. They would have had to deal with the flux, yet everything we've heard from the refugees says it brought down every system they had. Peak falls quiet, thinking it all through. Your mind drifts too, thinking of the can channels, those vast causal highways that prop up the core systems and their endless appetite for resources. Sounds like strip mining. The system had been quiet for decades. Solheim collapsed, most corporations gave up their claims, and apart from the Cells ships that came to begin work on the Sidereal horizon, no one from the core has come here in all that time. You shiver as you imagine the tension of the core, systems of logic and exploitation that created your suffering. Turning towards the healing system, Floodlight turned to this dark corner. I wonder if it has something to do with what they were planning that I think we sabotaged by getting some guy, you know, that ship guy. We got him arrested or, you know, at least questioned. But yeah. Anyway, if you play this, I'm sure everyone will pick slightly different options. Plus, you know, you get different dice, you have different character. But it's definitely worth taking the time to play the DLC. And if I get another decision choice on endings, I'm totally picking to stay. This is my home, and I'm going to defend it. And also, I want to play the third DLC when it comes out. So we'll try and finish this DLC in the next half an hour. They're usually fairly. It's just a case of now we've not got anything else distracting us. We'll pick up scrap when we can, but we just concentrate our dice on. But we could probably re-roll that 3 if we were slightly concerned about it. Because it doesn't say we have to re-roll all of them. And we can do it once per turn. So yeah. Anyway, a shrill bleep catches both of our attention and Peak rushes to a screen, one showing a crude map of the station. On it, individual markers begin to flare up with insistent chirps. We're totally getting a time limit, aren't we? Peak looks puzzled for a moment and then their face drops. No, they lean in close. This doesn't make any sense. What's happening? The flux nodes are appearing elsewhere on the station. Peak pulls at their hair. I set the system to alert me to other flux nodes near the epicenter of the flux event, but these are everywhere. The hub, the low end. How can this happen? The only reason we saw flux node here is because at the most rundown part of the station, they were barely shielded, but others appearing so far after the event. Peak turns to you. You're gonna need to get me the data from those nodes and quickly. Keep looking what I have here, but I need to know where they're popping up everywhere. Right now? Right now. We can talk more about CAN channels and system history when you're back, but this needs our attention right now. He turns quickly back to the monitor, their eyes following scrolling screens of code spewing from the newly fluxed nodes. You leave quickly, but struggle to shake the image of the spotlight from your mind. You feel watched as you cross back into the Pilgrim's Seed on your way to a shuttle bay. You hurry onward, eager to outrun the fear. Okay, so we need 3. And we haven't used any dice yet. And that one is complete. So I think study the flux probably is a right now thing. We'll see what dice we need to get those 3, and if we can get them, we need one of those 5s if we can for that last action. And then what is that? 12? We've got 10 more on there. The most we can get is 2 3s and 2 2s, right? Okay. So. That part's shadowed by the gardener. Let's see what we've got. So it said, oops, wrong one. It said core, which is app. Or hub, anyway. Flux node, okay. 465, we've got 5. Okay. Do we get extra data? Probably not, because it's a story thing. Okay. Okay, so we do have a component repair. So we can earn a decent amount of cryo and possibly a scrap using that. And then one last job. Okay, in 6 cycles. All right. I think what we'll do is... Oh, right. Okay, hang on. I need to find the flux. Flux node. I've got a feeling it's all going to need... yeah, it's going to need 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so... We can't get all of that at once, so... We don't need credits. Do with energy. But I'm just gonna get mushrooms next time, I think. From the mushroom guys. So... Knowing that we can't do that yet... We could lose energy, but engineer action gives us a 5, so we've got a good chance of getting some preservation. You work inside a dust house, layering the internal walls with careful plating. We got a positive outcome, by the way. Okay, rattle of dust because a comforting backdrop, and we got a +2. Excellent. So we didn't need to re-roll that. Let's just use the brighter base camp. We don't need to self-repair. We will go back and feed our cat. But if we finish the DLC today, then we won't come back to this save file. I will probably start a new save file you know, if I wanted to play it anymore. We will leave this save file, and because we've done endings, but I do want to wait for the 3rd DLC. So I'll see if there's like see if it's check on the Twitter. Okay, so we've got what did we... Oh yeah, flux. Let's just do the flux thing first, because getting the flux data is important. I have a headache, which is making it hard to concentrate on. Okay, so better to use the 4. Beats like a heart. The effect is unsettling. We got the data. Yeah, okay, so we'll use the 5 on something, probably that 3rd ship. And then we'll re-roll the 1s and 2s, because they're not going to be much good. Peak has tracked flux nodes in the low-end Happen shipyard. They want the data extract from all 3. We've done that. He closed the data into their decoding setup. I'll just be a moment. Don't leave, sleeper. You watch as Peak works on the flux data. The nodes unfolding like flowers now, giving in to Peak's increasingly sophisticated decoding protocols. Seeing data like this as an image on a screen is an almost unrecognizable representation to you. It's nothing like swimming among nodes and threads. Despite this, Peak has proven themselves to be more than able to handle these complex data structures, even through this limited representational paradigm. The bay door hisses, interrupting your flow of thoughts. Rather than throw of thoughts. I don't know what I was trying to do there. You turn to see Eshi entering. Eshi! She looks up and meets your eye, but doesn't respond. As she stalks into the bay, head down, she looks tired and not in a mood to talk. How's the weapon hunt? Peak asks without turning from their screen. Slow, successful, tedious. As she slams her bag down on a crate and hops up to sit on it. You still unpicking balls of yarn? With the sleeper's help. Peak smiles. They brought me some good stuff this cycle. Maybe it could help you find the weapons you were smuggling. It's clear that Eshi doesn't appreciate Peak's tone. Then have an Esh have them. Yep, she replies, at least until I find out where they're keeping them. Eshi, Peak cuts in without looking away from a console. That's not a good idea. This is my mistake, Peak, and I'll fix it how I want, as she folds her arms. Having us just lost the cord and equipping them with weapons is not something I want to be responsible for. Peak holds up a hand. Shh. They lean in towards the screen. Son of a... Oh no. They hid it in the weave of the wave. They hid it in the wave of the wave. Peak is whispering to themselves. It's alive. They lean back in their chair. As she crosses over to look at the screen. Alive? Well, it's growing, it's processing, it's quietly working away in the dark. Look. Cross over to the screen and stand beside Eshi. In it, you can see that Peak has all 4 nodes decoded, and the patched shadows from inside them set on the screen like dark stains. Then you notice it, the movement, the thin threads cross from one stone to another. As you watch, you notice that the movement only ever happens in your peripheral vision, as if this thing, this shadow, knows it's being watched. This is how the other flux nodes appeared. Peak rubs their eyes. They weren't fluxed by the wave, they were corrupted after the fact. This thing, this shadow that entered in the wake of the wave, it corrupted them, but it made the corruption look like the result of the flux. It's a sleight of hand. Peak runs a hand through their hair. The flux wave is so massive, so complex, that it opens up the systems to be attacked. As it reconfigures exposed systems, the shadow is broadcast in, implanted inside. The wave from the can channel, it's a brute force way of hitting every system in Helion. Once the systems are vulnerable, Peak looks pale, their eyes reflect on the screens. The flux isn't one that's attacking the systems, it's a siege weapon, a Trojan horse. Then this thing takes over. Peak sits back in their chair. And it's already on high. Wait. As she rubs her forehead, you're telling me there's a can channel in this system? Shit. Peak isn't listening. This is bad. We have to take this to someone. Peak looks desperately at you. Hélène or Sol? I feel like Hélène can do something more than Sol. Hélène, is that wise? As she cuts in, haven't exactly made good decisions lately. They are the station's administrators, Eshi. Peak is desperate. They need to know. The argument rages between them, and as you watch them shouting, you feel sick. After a while, they stop, running out of things to say. Unsettling silence descends on the bay. I need more time, Peak says quietly. I need to look at solutions, try to build a case, collect the evidence. We mess this up. They look down at their hands. As she goes to speak, and thinks better of it. Not a word, Sleeper. Peak meets your eye. Don't tell anyone until they're ready. They sigh. With the tension among the refugees, Sol won't be ready to hear this, and Hélène and Havanage are still mired in some kind of crisis. We tell Havanage they'll like to react badly, and if we tell Sol, I doubt he'll take it well either. If you can calm the situation in the flotilla, then we can choose. You two were twisted up in this, Peak, as she says quietly. It's not our place, we don't all... Stop, Eshi. Peak slumps in their chair. Stop. You leave them like that, exhausted and troubled, and head back out to the Pilgrim Seed. Someone's trying to hijack, and I wonder if that's what happened to the moon as well. When you close your eyes, you think of those shadows, the movement at the edge of your vision, something dark growing in the station like a parasite. You feel sick, your vision blurs. What comes next? You stop in a corridor and take a breath, putting a hand on a rumbling metal wall. For now, the eye keeps spinning. For now. Ooh, we got a drive. So now we can do the flotilla support. We are basically not going to get enough to upgrade everything because we failed a few. If we'd have done everything, we could have had, like, literally maxed out our character. Okay. Let's unload the supplies and see what's going on here. And then we'll do a reroll. Okay. Retention. Okay. Right. There's a loose crowd around the supplies you've unloaded, and a tense mood brewing among them. You sit nearby on the edge of the shuttle's docking tunnel, resting. Further away, crews from Ember's Song continue their lives as usual, coming and going, trading, discussing. There's a quiet efficiency to the hub, set up as a common space for the swarm of small ships from Ember's Song that are part of the flotilla. Unlike Hearthful Steppe, there's no one capital ship for this moon's refugees, just a mass of individuals travelling in concert. Ha! We told Darth we didn't want their scraps, the jeering voice comes out in a small crowd nearby. You turn to see a gaunt, pale man wearing the industrial work gear you've seen many of the Song refugees wearing. Yeah, me? These supplies are to help. He smirks. Oh, well, noble of you coming out here to help us singers. There's a rumble of anger around the crowd. We agreed to join the flotilla for joint protection. We did not agree to Ember's Arth using the flotilla to secure their control of the moons. You realise Peter is addressing the crowd as much as he's addressing you. With the cordon down, our crews are more than able to acquire what's needed from the Eye, what's owed as restitution for keeping us restrained. Pat's one of the crates you unloaded. We'll take. Sol wants to cooperate. Sol is a farmer. Even the people of Song know that he was simply the sole survivor of Arth's leadership. His authority means nothing. Peter looks at the crowd. Arth thinks they can buy us, but we remembered the past. Oh my god, fireworks again? It's raining! Stop with the fireworks. A rumble of agreement runs through the crowd. He smiles at them. Take the supplies if you wish, of course. We are not wasteful. Peter approaches you directly. The crowd tentatively move forward, and by the time he reaches you, they're already dragging away crates and distributing the contents. I'm not one for shooting the messenger, Sleeper, says Peter as he approaches, but we cannot concede to our fear. Not for a moment. I don't understand. I can see that. Peter sits behind you on the docking tunnel's lip. What was your plan, Sleeper? Unload the supplies and wait for someone to start throwing them back at you? He nods at the crowd riffling through the crates, because that's what was about to happen. So actually, thank you. Peter bows a little. My pleasure. What do you think happened to the crew of the shuttle? Shakespeare said. They were chased out of this place. What is happening here? We are maintaining our independence, he smiles. Do you know anything about Ember's moon sleepers, or are you planning to wander in this flotilla totally blind? An objective outsider offering help. He rolls his eyes. Educate me then. Smiles. It would be my pleasure. I'm going to assume you know the basics. The gas giant Ember has 7 moons. 3 biggest are Ember's step, Ember's song, and Ember's art. He winks. We can cover the 4 sisters next session. Step was the first to be settled, a contract old Solheim gave to the terraformers Sybil Systems when they first claimed the Elian system. That's way back when. Step was the testing ground, and like most testing ground, it didn't turn out too well. Partial atmosphere slowly sloughing off each orbit, dysfunctional ecosystem, an old bunch of dust-clogged settlers. Place is a miserable desert long past its best before date. So Sybil moved to Earth, where they redoubled their efforts. Subsurface ocean and some balmy tidal heating helped, allowing them to rebuild a real atmosphere, real habitable world. In fact, the typical Earth colonists won't ever let you forget. How did Sybil achieve such a thing, you might wonder? Well, that's where we come in. It's that same old rule of surrogacy, the one humanity built our universe around. Peter claps a hand to his chest in mock pride. My moon, Ember's Song, is a sulphur-soaked rock covered in volcanoes, tidally heated by its inner orbit to sweltering temperatures. Exactly the kind of crucible you need to fuel a terraforming project. Energy industry fuel, Song provided the raw materials for Earth. Peter grimaces, willingly or not. And the crucible requires people to run it, or singers born into a flaming pit and asked to stoke it so others might live in a paradise in the making. That's what we had to endure until Solheim brought everything down. Peter rattles off this speech from memory, and you wonder how many times he's delivered it. No Solheim, no contract, no Sybil, and no Sybil meant 3 moons suddenly independent. Peter shakes his head. It was a war sleeper, sometimes hot, sometimes cold, and unsurprisingly, Arth and Step came out of it better than us. Hello! Oh, happy Sunday. Yeah, happy Sunday. Ow! Not sure I'm going to finish this DLC, but since it's nearly at the end of the stream, and I'm hungry. But anyway, we did technically finish Citizen Sleeper, just not the DLC. So we could wait to finish this for the new one, or we could add it to the hodgepodge of games that I need to finish before Christmas. Not before Christmas, after Christmas, before the end of the year. So we'll see. How are you doing, Jesse? Yeah, Peter holds up a hand. I need us, Sleeper, always have, and we are the linchpin. We are the centre around which the moons orbit, not swirling ember. We resisted takeovers, sieges, and expansions, and now we'll resist this. Half the people on these ships think the flux was caused by Earth, intentionally or otherwise, and I have to say some cycles I agree, so before you come here to hand out supplies like a good soldier, maybe educate yourself. But what does that matter now? Peter shakes his head. Do you forgive crimes against yourself so easily, Sleeper? Would you return to the bosom of Essenarp if they sent someone to collect? Peter stares at the crowd. Don't presume to judge us. I want you to imagine what it's like to try and live on an airless volcanic rock when every system that sustains you starts shutting down. He spits and wipes a sleeve across his mouth. We abandoned nothing. Some stayed, others left, but we were all claim ember as soon as the flux fades or ends. We've read the worst. I understand. Do you now? Peter meets your eye. Well, perhaps you'll stop running errands for Earth then. Won't keep you from the docking access, Sleeper. No one here has the authority for that. But watch yourself here. Try to remember that the AI is just the long list of people who tried to control us. I understand. Peter nods. That might guide your actions. Peter sighs. Look, we are many and we have many needs. Ships come to this docking access for repairs, for requisitions, for friendship. You can provide these as well as any singer. You want to help your own name, singer, Sleeper, not in that of Arth. Peter shakes his head. Carry that name here and you will lose all trust. Be as we are, act in your own name alone. Peter puts his hands on your shoulder and stands. I hope I didn't waste my time here, Sleeper. And with that, he walks away, back to the shrinking crowd that is distributing the last of the supplies among the crews present. You watch them pass the food and water between them, no signs of conflict between the crews, just a careful distribution of resources. Peter chats with a few crews, each of them casting looks in your direction, ones that reveal little about the singer's intentions. You stand. It seems the tensions on the flotilla run much deeper than you expected. This won't be easy. Okay. So, oh, they do need ship mines. We can give that. And, oh, spores. Spores. We don't have any spores, but we have a ship mine. I don't need the credits, so does that give us a thing? Great. So we have 2 components. We're missing a ship mine component, and then we'd have a thing. Okay, you supply the ship mine, but in a way it seemed only to make the crew more suspicious of you. Okay. Well, I can't really stop that. As Peter said, the singers will only trust you if you act independently of half. Filling supply request is a good start. Right, okay, so we need now to do 3 spores because the ship mine was a one-off thing. Gotcha. I can do that. Right. Is it press left stick? Ah, hello. That's much better. Right. Let's do the preservation step stock care because that gives us +3. We like +3s. Remarkable intuition. You not only support steps up but harden it. Aki smiles when she sees the result. Excellent. Cool. Okay, so we just have 2 left, which would be an engineer. We only have a 2 though. I wouldn't want to chance that. Ship mines. Okay, so this one, it's really just supplying the parts now. So I'm gonna buy mushrooms. Where's my spores? Right. Possibly minus energy. Let's go replenish our energy. Then we just feel like we're nearly at the end of this DLC. We're just gonna finish it, but I do need a very quick bathroom break. So we are going to buy some mushrooms. I'll be right back in like 1 minute. I'm also going to take my casserole out, I think. No, I'll take it out in a moment. Right, I'm just going to take the casserole out. Right. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's a stew. Okay. I was wondering what that was. Yeah. Honestly, it's nice when it's cold and it's easy to make. Sometimes it feels like it's less effort than stroganoff. It just needs like 3 hours to cook, so you know. Right, so we replenish our energy. Let's go and gather some spores. Because if we fail, we lose energy, and yeah. And it's a 3, so neutral maybe. Oh, look at a positive. 2 spores. Excellent. Right, well, we may as well buy a base camp. Let's do a self-repair. And the cycle. Oh, look at that. Okay, so we need spores. +1, so let's just waste the 6. Spores. One of the ships is trying to establish a mushroom farm to help feed the crews, looking for spores to get started. Spores have been seeded, and while some may be suspicious of your efforts, crew by crew you'll convince them. As you cross the axis, looking for a shuttle to take you back to the ruined cordon, you spot Peter standing at the edge of the central hub. Something about the way he's leaning against the rail, looking down across the axis and towards the blinking lights of the flotilla, makes you pause. He's completely still, his head drooping low and his shoulders hunched high. Let's approach him. You lean on the railing a little away from Peter, leaving a gap between you. This close you can see the blank stare in his eyes, the way his hands hang limply in front of him. It takes a minute to notice you. Sleeper? He announced sharply, still hanging around. Trying to be useful. Peter maintains a smiles a tight smile, but doesn't turn to face you. Ah, sleeper thing, needing to be useful? It's a me thing. Well, makes sense. Peter closes his eyes. Two need to be useful. What's with you? Peter stands back from the railing. Who invited you, sleeper? Who said you could come here? You think because the Houthers decide to name you that island boy, we've got to put up with you? We don't want you here. We don't need you. His eyes burn with rage. Go home, you stupid machine. After a second, he shouts that final line. He collapses in on himself, saying upright, but with all the energy going out of his body. He slumps back against the railing, his eyes closed once more. You wait. After a while, he speaks. I'm tired, sleeper. Tired of everything. Tired of the empty paternalism of the hearth. I'm tired of the paranoid whining of the crews. I'm tired of the endless cycles that look the same, smell the same, feel the same. Tired of running, of hiding, of fixing every shitty thing that breaks out here. His shout echoes a little in the hub, but few stop to look. He looks down at his feet. I get it. Peter nods. I'm sorry, sleeper. He sighs. Something is... I don't feel okay. Just tired, I think. Really tired. I'm gonna go with you. I'm massively burnt out, mate. He stands. I'm gonna go. He looks at you and sniffs. Get me some sleep. Sleep well. Peter nods, slowly turning away. He raises a hand and drifts away towards the centre of the hub. You turn back to the railing, not wanting to watch him go. Seeing him like this, you prefer not to stare. The traffic of the axis rumbles on as you watch under an endless shining sun. The same air recycled through all these lungs, the same dust gathering speck by speck on the windows. Take a sharp breath, stand straight and get moving, before the inertia of it gets to you too. Okay, so now what? Oh, more! Access job board, overflowing engineering tasks, great. That's a plus. Socializing, good relations, help them trust you. And the more work you do for the singers, the more you get to know the crews, the more they'll trust you. Right, well, we've nearly finished this section of dust houses, so we need 2 engineer is a 4. Preservation. Aki? You and Aki stand side by side at the viewing window in silence. The dust swirls and you glimpse the twisted... Not that I want it to be over soon. It's a DLC. It's chunky. It's just, you know, it's past 6 and I'm supposed to finish my stream. And yeah. Anyway. The dust swirls and you glimpse the twisted root systems of the steppe silk through the ochre haze. Hey, at least my food's ready, effectively. It will take 5 minutes to reheat. So I can go another half an hour, finish this DLC off, and then we'll shelve this until... Do you calm or run an X keys? I don't know. It's fun when you calm. I mean, you and Leo calming Kayston's race yesterday. I know it wasn't a great result at the end. It was a bloody difficult key by the... Seed. Sorry. Because you said cross keys and I went, I forgot the word. It was a really, you know, arse of a seed by the looks of it. But you two were good calming, so if you enjoy that... Depends. How's your voice? Because, you know... I imagine calming requires more voice than running across keys. My entire face hurts right now. Your voice is always fine. Oh, well, bully for you. my face hurts. But yes. So I don't know. Up to you. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Stick him in a bag and draw one out. Toss a coin. To your witcher. Um, okay. You and Aki stand side by side at the viewing window in silence. The dust swirls and you glimpse the twisted root systems of the steppe silk through the ochre haze. After all these cycles, you feel a strange connection to a world on which you've never set foot. Aki shifts from foot to foot, and she seems restless, eager to speak, but unsure of what to say. Oh, she gone? Oh no, rest in peace. The dust houses look good. Aki smiles at you warmly. They do. She pauses and turns back to the window. What is the value of all this? She asks suddenly. Of preserving a world we've left behind. Conservation? Aki is silent for a moment. These creatures should be protected, yes, but for us their conservation is conditional. We keep them alive because we need to use them. I can't pretend we are conservators when we harvest as much as we are able. Aki paces, lost in thought. I'm grateful to you for helping protect the dust houses, for ensuring their slide into decay is delayed, even averted, but now I find myself at an impasse. The stability of the dust houses changes things. It makes me aware of how blinkered we've been. Aki stops to look at you, her position somehow different. Of the ecosystems of steppe, if its people cannot grow to meet the future, why preserve it? She frowns. Are we just slaves to the preservation of what came before? You can change. Aki comes close, holds your hands in hers. We must change. We must change to live. She smiles. I have seen that in you. The steppe, these people, this ship, should serve more than heritage, than history. They should serve the future. She takes a breath. There are those in Flotilla that need clothes, that need food, that can benefit from the gifts of the steppe's ecosystem. I want you to invite them. Can you do that for me? How? I know that Sol sent you. She smiles. You can tell him Aki, captain of the Wind Long Shadow, invites all the people of the Flotilla to come. I will. She nods. Aki steps away. You want to know about the flux zone, about its purpose, its origins? She smiles. You could wish to protect your home as we cannot. I'm afraid I don't have much to tell you. It is an exotic wave of sorts, an energy that passes through matter. It shifts the very charged particles which run through our electrical systems. She's travelling for the holidays. Okay, well that's much better than she's dead. You know. It's possible to shield against it as you would radiation, as we have done with the dust houses, but only while it's weak. The flux event here was much like the first ones we felt on Ember's steppe, localized, destructive but bearable, but each time its strength grew. I don't know if it'll be the same here, but... She pauses. It's coming from the center of the system, far from the close orbit of Helion star H1. That's all we could uncover. She's silent for a moment, unsure of what to add. Sorry I cannot offer more, but you're always welcome on this ship. She smiles. I hope I will see you when the others come. She squeezes both your hands. I hope this ship, these dust houses, can be more than a museum. I hope they can be a home. With this, she turns and leaves, and you feel that word home resonating within you like a struck bell. Okay, so that should be now 2 on this part. Excellent. So, we have a few more cycles before Bliss's thing pops up. So, we want to obviously go for plus that will potentially lose energy. Let's go buy some mushrooms first. So we don't accidentally lose condition, because we can afford to lose energy. We can't afford to lose condition, really. And it's always good to check over on this side and maybe feed our cats. We've already brought all the cryo out there. We're not building them a new ship. Decided against that. Let's just feed our cat. Because we'll probably sleep over the other side. You get to taste eye drops in your mouth again! Oh, excellent. I know what you mean. It's like... I mean, to be fair, it's more... You get it more if you've got like a nasal spray, because that's all connected. But yeah. I've had tasteable eye drops before. Let me just check how many cycles we've got here. Oh, we've still got 4 more before that's going to bother us. We should be able to finish the DLC, and then we can leave that for when we do the 3rd part. And I need mushrooms, because we've got plenty of credits now. Yeah. Interconnected systems are fun. Right. Okie dokes. So, we've just got this left, so let's go for the most assistance. Take a handful of jobs and work through them, sharing tips and chatting with the crews. You can feel them warming to you. Same thing again. Neutral. You take on a patch job that's been on the board for ages and clear it quickly. The crew are very pleased. Excellent. I don't think we've got any extra scrap though. Okay, let's nip back and save in. Save. Continue on in here. We'll use a scrap to maintain that. And the cycle. Not bad, not great, but not bad. Engineer. And right. I didn't actually take the casserole out. I turned the oven off and opened the door. So like it could do with another 5 minutes, but I'm probably forget. Okay. Neutral. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's do that one. There's a chance, so we need to do some socializing. You hang out by a supply station and strike a conversation with those who come and go. People are happy to chat. Ooh, okay, that's brilliant. May as well just do this. You're taken under the wing of... Oh, we got plus energy. Excellent. You're taken under the wing of a riotous crew who give you a song-brewed spirit that burns like fire and leaves a tasting buzz. There we go. We've used all our die, and there we go. Sleeper! Peter calls to you as you cross the axis. He's standing by the same railing as you saw him last time, and he beckons you over. I've been hearing things. He gives you a side-on look. Bad things? Good things? Good things. Peter smiles, mostly. He rubs his hands together nervously. You wait for him to speak. You know one song I was a teacher? He glances at you, anticipating a response. Really? Peter sighs. Don't sound so surprised. Mechanical engineering. It's an essential subject on a moon where a single mechanical failure could mean the death of hundreds. He looks at the ground. The heat, the atmosphere, the radiation, all of it's hostile to us. My students knew this. Their work, their training was respected as long as they were careful and respected song themselves. They could have their choice of colony placements. They were always in demand. Meant I was respected, surrounded by friends and colleagues, always able to call in favours and repay them like for like. He frowns. Some colonies are small, close-knit. We look out for our own. When the flux event started hitting, colonies went dark overnight. We all know what that kind of failures meant. Like always, we lost more people than any of the other moons. He balls his hands into tight fists. Not a single one of my students left song. Our future was cut off just like that. My future. He flexes his hands. What am I out here? What use am I? Song with a fading memory, and the systems we built there are useless outside its orbit. How am I supposed to move on from here? He looks at you, eyes steely grey and glinting. Find someone to teach. Peter pauses, thinking. You don't give up, do you, Sleeper? You just keep going. Peter shakes his head. You remind me of a student of mine who entered the programme from one of the smaller colonies. Didn't have the advantages of some of the others, but they were stubborn. Stubborn as hell. By the end of the programme, they were most skilled of their peers. They didn't get the best assignment, maybe because they didn't spend much time making the kind of connections that would help get you there. But that didn't matter, because I knew they would make the best of anything they set themselves to do. Peter's smiling now, buoyed a little by the memory. Singer's a stubborn sleeper. We ain't going to change easily. We won't forgive easily or take help easily, but we'll hold strong. You can count on us for that. Peter stands from the railing. When you see Sol again, you can tell him that. You can tell him how the crews the Ember's song operate. Tell him we will resist if that means resisting Earth's imperialist ambitions. So be it. If it means resisting the flux, so be it. And if it means dim, as you have, help others resist those same pressures. So be it. Peter smiles, and then tell him to leave us alone. He turns his step lighter and heads off towards the centre of the Axis's hub. We did it. I think this is probably going to be the end of this part, or there'll be a little bit, because there's the weapons that have disappeared. We've got to figure out something. There might be another wave, but yeah. At least there wasn't so much timed yet. When you arrive at the Bridge of the Pilgrim Seeds, Sol is waiting for you. I wouldn't believe the messages that have come through in the past cycles, Sleeper. He smiles. Ship from steps at a goodwill gesture, hold cash as supplies from ruined farms. He smiles. I'm not sure how we'll use them, but a gesture's a welcome one. Song, meanwhile, are apparently accepting supplies again, although a little restlessly, if I may say so. Sol smiles. Don't expect them to change anytime soon, it should be said. And what I'm wondering, Sleeper, is what part you had in all of this? Sol eyes you, waiting for an answer. I helped where I could. I come that to expect you that, Sleeper. Expect that of you, Sleeper, he smiles. You look at Sol, his eyes bright and eager, and wonder what he sees in you. Are you a tool to be used or an ally? It can be hard to tell. I want to show you something. Sol squeezes your shoulder, turning to face the lift. He leads you along the axis of the ship towards the engines, the clanking of his suit accompanied by the constant hammering and welding that fills the echoey bulkheads of the Pilgrim's Seed at all hours. With the cordon lifted, the shuttle's able to go out to the salvage scrap and barter for supplies. The ship's become a place of transformation, moving towards some state yet to be revealed to you. You look at Sol. What is his plan here? What is he preparing the Pilgrim's Seed for? Or is his sharp eyes simply focused on making it through the next cycle? Suddenly, Sol stops in front of a huge bulkhead door like the seal on the front of a dry dock hangar. He signals to someone in a cabin high up, attached to the wall, and they begin the process of opening it up. The Pilgrim's Seed was built as a short-range fleet carrier, you know. The amber warning lights on the bulkhead door send spinning shadows across Sol's face. We built it to ship the entire harvest from thousands of farms to the silos at Pasador. When we realised we needed to leave, it was the biggest ship we could muster. Sol raps on the metal plates, and somehow she's carried us all the way out here. You led the evacuation. He laughs, not even close. I was a farmer and had a whole load of land and people to run it. My people helped convert this place for the long trip. He looks at his feet. Others led, organised the evacuation and debated the plan. What happened? Not one of those folks made it. Sol rubs his forehead. We were out in the black a long time before we got here, Sleeper. Things happen. The upshot is I was chosen to take over. I guess my crew trusted me and I knew the ship. I argued to remind them I'm no leader and that I'm sick, but, well, when the service chooses you... Loud klaxon sounds, indicating the bulkhead doors are ready to open. They groan as they slide back, the metal squeals echoing through the vast ship, bouncing off its hard-plated walls. At first all you see is darkness, then the lights go on in huge strips that stretch back and back as far as you can see. The space in front of you, a vast bay bigger than any you've ever seen, is empty. When we left Hearth, we didn't have the time or resources to convert the entire ship. Sol begins leading you into the massive space. So much of the freight space we sealed away, shut down. But now we have time, we have resources. We stabilized here, at least for the moment. Sol turns to you. Now is the time we make use of all this. What are you planning? What do you think happens next for the Eye? Sleeper, Sol sighs. The flux has already hit one part of the station, and from what we'll know, we'll hit it again. On Hearth, we lost everything. There isn't much time, Sleeper, but there's enough time to do something. Think of the number of people we can fit on here. The farming stacks, the housing. Hell, we can plant some of those mushrooms you love so much. Us is the way forward. The only way. We need to fill this ship with evil bodies and head for the starboard belt. I thought the Eye was your destination. I was until the flux hit here. Now it's just another stop. I'm glad I have a chance to resupply and salvage, but we need to go further out. I want you to help me. You know the Eye, you got connections, you can work hard, I've seen it. Sol meets your eye. I know you're like me, Sleeper. You didn't choose service, but I chose you. Can this work? It has to, Sleeper, there's nothing else. I know it's a lot to think about, Sleeper, trust me. Sol begins to lead you out of the bay, but think of what you can do here. The flotilla can't last forever. We need more than just farmers to meet this work. We need to build a new world for ourselves. I've heard that out there in the belt are people who've been setting up since the collapse, making something of their own. That's our future, tucked away in those rocks, far from all of this. Sol sighs. I didn't bring my people here just to let them die somewhere new. Sol crosses back over the threshold of the bay and signals for the operator to close it up. The door groans and Sol waits for it to stop. Think about it, Sleeper. Sol claps an arm on your back, but don't wait too long. This is happening soon. And he leaves you there, in the silence of this vast bay, your head spinning with the thought of leaving the Eye. I'm not leaving! So, we've completed that. Okay, right. Upgrade. So... would we want to wait and get one more point so we can level up into it? That makes more sense than a thing that we're not going to use. Episode Refuge completed! Excellent! Only took an extra 20-something minutes. Episodic story of the flotilla will continue in episode Purge, coming early 2023. I shall make sure I'm following their Twitter. And then we shall do one final stream with the final episode and possibly build that ship. Plus there's the final one of Bliss's things, which is another 3 cycles. We'll harvest our mushrooms next cycle, but we'll leave it here because we actually got 2 endings. We've seen the credits twice, and we finished the DLC, so we're going to leave it here. Consider this game completed for now. If I feed my cat, patch up my thing. Oh, we must have got some scrap in one of the actions. Ends the cycle to save. We will probably come back and stream the 3rd DLC because the DLC is really cool. Not bad dice. Last time since save. 0 seconds. So if I'm going to play anymore, I will start a new game on the thing, because we've got a few. I kind of want to play it slightly differently. But we've got 18 achievements just on that play. There's a possibility that Bliss's storyline will do some more still. There's a possibility that repairing the ship, if we do that in between the DLC cycles, that will also do some more endings. But I think you need at least 2 playthroughs to get everything. But it's not bad. And it's a really great game. So that's Citizen Sleeper. Let me just get the details up. So that is Citizen Sleeper. It's on Game Pass for now. It came out on the 5th of May. Developed by Jump Over the Age. Published by Fellow Traveller. Shout out for Fellow Traveller. It's classified as a visual novel, but it's so much more than that. It says completion estimate 8 to 10 hours. But yeah, it's optimized for Series X. It's also got cloud touch controls. Yeah, it's on Windows. You can play it on Windows 10 as well, Windows 10 Plus, as well as the Xbox. It's on Game Pass and PC Game Pass and cloud gaming. So, you know, if you've got a mobile device, an Xbox or a PC, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to play this. And it's really, 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 really good. I did get a copy of this game for... Okay, yeah, but I'm talking about this particular version, Nikki. It's also on Switch. And it's probably also on Steam, and probably also on PlayStation. It's on lots of things. But if you go to citizensleeper.com, you can find out more. I received a copy of this game for streaming purposes, and I have done... This is my 5th stream now, I believe. We got an ending. We got 2 endings. No, my 4th stream. 4th stream. We got 2 endings. And we did 2 of the DLC episodes. So, you know, that's pretty damn good for like, I don't know, 12, 16 hours? 16 hours. No, wait, hang on, I can't count. 12 hours-ish. Yeah, that sounds about right. But that's with me reading everything out. You know, it's a little bit D&D-esque. You can pick your character, you can pick your starting skills, you can upgrade them by completing quests. You can choose how you want your character to evolve, and there are multiple endings. I chose to stay on the station, but I also got the other ending of that pair with the seed and chose to cut my thread and to go into the cloud. But I also wanted to stay on the station, so, you know, I basically maxed out what I could. It's a brilliant game. I highly recommend it, basically. If you have no devices, Jesse, then I don't know how you survive in this world. But yeah, it's brilliant. I love it, and I highly recommend it. Right. I need to have a drink and then my stew. And possibly some painkillers because my head hurts. My entire mentally free notices of technology. Yeah, but it's also literally you can't do banking or like anything without an email address or a phone number or something these days. So, you know, you really can't live without some kind of internet connected device. Leaky says apparently Jesse plays solely using his imagination. That must be a great imagination. If you could plug your brain into the cloud, then that would be great. I'd probably end up with more of a headache than I already have right now. Yeah, I think lack of hydration plus talking for 3 and a bit hours. It's very what? Oh, vivid. Sorry, the scroll doesn't always scroll the way up because I've got it zoomed in so I can actually read the font. So I got it's very, and then I was trying to figure out what word it was, only seeing the half top of the letters. But I can see vivid now. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's a brilliant game. Love it. Highly recommend. As I said, it's on Game Pass. Probably on Game Pass for at least another 6 months. Yeah, choo choo. My thought train goes. Yeah, I think I need to hydrate and have some painkillers and have some stew and finish wrapping my presents because Christmas is sorted. Ah, that was it. Streams. Right. Yes. So this week is different. This next week is different because it's Christmas. It's literally Christmas. Oh my god. It's literally Christmas in like it's a week today. Shit. But it's fine. I'm sorted. My train home, cross everything for my train home being okay. Is booked, seat reserved. Hopefully, I will be getting to the station early so that if my train is cancelled, I will be able to get on a different train because my ticket will be valid for that. And if not, I will yell at them because, oh my god, cool. Is that about the family thing, or is this something else? Yes. The family thing, yes. I couldn't think of the word. Estate, yes. Well, I will cross fingers for you for that. It's only really because, you know, Christmas is one of... Okay. Apparently we're not ending the stream right now. We're having a little bit of a Joe explanation. The only reason Christmas is a particularly looming date is because it's always quite... There's quite a lot of trauma. Possibly slightly... I don't know. There's a lot of anxiety. Vamp, you're gonna race. Okay, cool. I will. Are you gonna go? So that's cross keys. Yeah. Well, if you go live in the next like 5 minutes, I'll raid you. But yeah, no. Christmas has a lot of like strings attached. Last year was particularly shit. There's a lot of pressure on this Christmas to be a good Christmas, and you know, pressure is not great. But I have everyone's presents sorted out. And yeah, but stream-wise, I'll be doing Tuesday. I'm probably going to do AI Somnium Files. I want to try and finish that game. I'm going to get another chunk of it done then. Wednesday will be the last stream, provided Jesse is still up for doing the post-stream. No pressure, but if you are, I think we talked about maybe doing some Lumart and trying to finish that one off. I'm just trying to finish things, basically. This is finished now, Citizen Sleeper. When the new DLC comes out, I'll probably do a stream of that, just for, you know, completion's sake, but it's effectively finished in that I got endings. But yeah, so my train's on Thursday. Otherwise, my train was supposed to be on Saturday to have a shorter period of time to reduce the amount of brain buildup. Yeah, I think that's probably a good way of explaining it. But because of the strikes and engineering works and everything, I had to move it to Thursday, which means that I don't have a stream on Thursday, which is fair enough. At least I can get home for Christmas. But yeah, and my grandpa's going to be there. He turned 97. this week. So, you know, it's kind of, Christmas is also important because I don't know how many more I'm going to get with him. And I also have a 7-week-old nibbling that is going to be new for them, and a 3.5-year-old other nibbling, who is probably going to be the first Christmas that they remember, possibly. And I'm just kind of excited to spend some time with them. I've got everything done. There's no, oh, I just need to finish this knitting or sew this together or wrap this or whatever. Okay, I still need to finish wrapping them, but I've got all the gifts, so there's no pressure on it. There's no, okay, I've got to do a day of work from my parents' house, but it should, I've reduced all the pressure on me from me. There's no game pressure. I don't have to do any competitions. That's all sorted. You know, I've just tried to reduce all the stress. Stressors! Yes, this Christmas is a stressor. That's the right word I wanted earlier. But yeah, my GPAR. Yes, my GPAR is awesome. So yeah. So it's going to be an extra day and a half at home. Though a day of that I'll be working. So hopefully will be good. But it does help that my entire family knows that I'm autistic and not just acting out as not just a grown-up acting like a child, which is how I think they think, or used to think. You know, I'm autistic. I have ADHD. You know, my brain works differently. To be fair, my entire family is probably neurodivergent, but my brain just seems to work on a different frequency. Slightly, in that it's mainly the humour. My entire family is funny and I can't tell. You know, that's always the thing. So it's going to be interesting. I said to my coach, my coach, not my therapist, because I'm not broken, don't need fixing, and coaching is just, you know, trying to undo all the stuff. And my brain is fine. It just works differently. Nothing wrong with that. It's literally the definition, neurodivergent. But yeah, I was talking to my coach about it, and I said, literally, the only thing that we need is to communicate, which my family is notoriously bad at doing, and everything will be great. So, cross fingers. But anyway, I'm ready. I just need to finish packing and wrapping, which I still have, you know. I still have, well, I've got the rest of today, and I've got Monday evening, you know, without streams. But I also have, you know, like before work and at lunchtime and stuff, because I work from home. So I will be ready. I don't know how much work I'm going to get done on Thursday afternoon. I literally kind of want to stake out the station, because at least if I'm there, I can get a train. Once I'm on a train, I'm fine, because I've got a flexible return, which means that as long as I just take a few extra, you know, clothing items, and Mum said, well, you can use the washing machine, and I'm like, that's fine, it's just obviously. So hopefully after Christmas there will be Tuesday stream. That is if my train on home is still fine. I will find out on the 21st, I think, whether that train is going to be fine. It should be, because it's like after lunch. It should be fine. But, you know, you never know. So yeah, so the idea is that I will do probably a very chill, so not a talky stream, but a very chill stream on the Tuesday when I get back. And then that'll be a normal week. You know, okay, it includes New Year, but it'll be a normal-ish week. But yeah, this week is Tuesday, possibly Wednesday. If Jesse's up for it. If not, then there'll be no Wednesday stream, and I'll just, you know, watch whoever else is streaming. There's literally no obligations. But I will do some more AI on Tuesday probably, because I don't have to speak for that one, and apparently I need to get back into practice for story time, because ow. So right, I finished babbling. Jesse is live. I was totally vamping until Jesse was live. So we're going to go with Jesse, who's running, I think he said, a cross keys thing, which I think is something along the lines of all the keys are messed up in different places. I'm sure he'll explain it. I know there's probably not many of you left no, according to the viewer numbers, there's not many of you left now, but I appreciate everyone who has been here and watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you haven't played Citizen Sleeper, please do. It's really good. So let's raid. Oops. Let's raid Jesse, and I'm going to get some hydration and stew, which I just made, or casserole as I keep calling it, because it is made in a casserole dish. It's made in a Le Creuset casserole dish because I inherited it from like my grandpa's sister, so it's like in the family thing. Yeah, it's a fancy, but it's old, which is great because it is seasoned. But anyway, I'm gonna go eat that. So I've been Jo, otherwise known as Angel SK. Thanks for being here today, and I'll catch you later. Bye.